time with the blow. This is my time with it though. This is my time to be way at the top. Me and my guys gon' pay out the block. I don't look like boss, time's right. And I know they see us walking in the limelight. Promise you gon' wanna watch like a sci-fi. My guys are high risers, high tide. My crown if you come to my side. I pledge allegiance for lifetime. My squad connected like Wi-Fi. We grind and you see the highlights. This my life. It ain't a game now. Me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way. You wasn't invited. Say you come to play. I dare you to try it. You don't wanna try me. Then step up to my team. Yeah, out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way. Game now, me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way, you wasn't invited. Say you come to play, I dare you to try it. You don't wanna try me, then step up to my team. Yeah, out of the way, yeah, yeah. Out of the way, yeah, yeah. Out of the way. Player on top, know it. Rooftop, penthouse, suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fly through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion. We put in this time. Look, you won't stop my stride.
welcome everybody to the Snapdragon Pro Series. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is the Musacho, and we're going to be bringing to you guys Free Fire. This is the Open Finals here, ladies and gentlemen. 24 teams are going to be vying for a place in the regionals, and we're going to be featuring some of the best here in Southeast Asia. My man, how are you doing here today?
I am absolutely fine, Victor. I mean, we've been waiting for this day for a long time. It's not just down to these 4 days, right? The journey is quite far away. So the teams who want to get there, who want to enjoy some pretty neat prize pool down here at the Snapdragon Pro Series for Free Fire, under not just Asia Pacific, but as a whole, all the way down to the Challenger Series. We are here to see exactly who's capable of making that arduous journey, buddy.
Indeed we are. And you know what they say, a journey of 1,000 steps begin with the first one, indeed. And the first step happens right here today, ladies and gentlemen, in this Open Finals. We got plenty of really interesting teams to be looking out here today, especially given that some of these guys had to compete in last month's MCP, if I'm not mistaken. And we're definitely going to be looking at some of the really good teams coming into this competition here. So does that mean that this is going to be a very tight competition coming into this week?
I think it's going to be a crazy competition coming into this week, right? Because like you said, the MCP Major Season 4 kind of just ended. We know exactly who the two representatives are going to be, who are going to be going to the Free Fire World Series. Those two teams are here as well. But the last time we had a Challenger Series, we did not see these two teams kind of dominate the whole competition. So, that just sets up the storyline quite deliciously, right? Are we going to see the two guys who are going to represent the whole of Asia down at the World Series dominate this competition, or will we see someone else trump them before they even get there?
Well, we'll have to find out over the course of this week, but here is on your screens right now the prize pool that all 24 teams are vying for here. Starting from the first spot, you get $1,500 just when you dominate this entire entire Open Finals here. That's a hefty amount of money to be winning here, isn't it?
Absolutely, man. I mean, when you get that first spot, 1,500 Singapore dollars, I think that's quite decent since, I'm from Malaysia. The currency is not as delicious as the Singapore dollar, so I'll take that any day, man. Point system stays the same. If you guys have been following the pro scene, in the recent times, you get that booyah, you get yourself 12 points. -3 points off if you get that second spot, -1 for each and every single position that you get lower. From that all the way down to the 10th place, where you get a single point. 11th and 12th spot gets absolutely nothing. But here's the thing, Victor, we focus on the aggression out there on the battlefield. Each elimination gets you 1 point.
Exactly, and that single point, it's so significant here, especially in Free Fire. Rewarding aggression here means that teams are going to be encouraged to actually go out, pick up those fights, and to get those wins. So here is going to be the battlegrounds that we're going to be using for today's matches, starting off in the classic map of Bermuda, and then finally on to Kalahari. And basically we're going to be splitting all of our competitors into 4 different groups, and that's why we're seeing a combination basically of different groups in both of these maps. Basically each team is going to be expected to play, each group is going to be expected to play at least twice on this specific combination of maps.
Absolutely. So if you guys look at the very top of the maps, you can see exactly which groups will be playing. For the first 2 matches at Bermuda and Kalahari, it's going to be Group A going up versus Group B. And I tell you, Victor, this is going to be one heck of a day, right? Because Group A is stacked, man. AV Radicals, the one and only representatives from the Philippines who are going to go to the Free Fire World Series, are in Group A. And their adversaries expand, the representatives of Malaysia, in Group B. I tell you, the first 2 matches itself is going to be pretty much grand finals type of worthy matches, man.
That's exactly what I'll be expecting, especially seeing big names as well returning from Season 1, Farang, Access Esports, GeekFam, Warlords, K9 Esports. These guys are very familiar with them from last season's Snapdragon. Let's see how they stack up this season, especially against these powerhouse teams like AV Radicals and Expand. I mean, both of these teams specifically really made a splash during the last month's MCP, so I'm going to be expecting a lot out of these two.
I really believe that AV Radicals use the Challenger Series as a launching pad to set themselves up for the MCPS Major Season 4. Because, the last time we saw them at a competition from Snapdragon, right, they they got that second spot. It was quite decent, but I guess it disappointed them to a fact whereby they said the next time we jump into competition, we are going to take nothing else other than that #1 spot. They pretty much dominated the group stage, they dominated the grand finals, and now they are here to pretty much dominate once again. So that's going to be the story set up here, Victor. Who's going to be able to oust AV Radicals themselves in the first 4 matches?
Yeah, that's going to be very much up in the air, isn't it? I mean, Group C and Group D as well will have chances throughout the day as well to challenge AV Radicals in that group. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and highlight some of these other clubs as well. We're talking about Geek Fam, Axis Esports Club, and Bloody Head up here. They're all in the first match up for today, which is going to be in Group A and B. And these are very familiar names inside the scene here, isn't they?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, Geek Fam, they are the OG kings of Free Fire Malaysia. They are the OG dominators, but they kind of fell off the map. Their team got shuffled. A lot of the players in the current Geek Fam took a long break. You know, the scene knows exactly why they took that long break. Let's not get into the conversation now. But they are back. And we expected them to come back with a lot of fire in them, but what we see is a lot of misses rather than hits. So I'm still waiting for Geek Fam to go back to their old winning ways. Axis Esports, a team that started off with so much of promise, kind of, you know, falters towards the ending parts of the competition. They always start off hot, and pretty much Bloody Head are the exact same in terms of tempo, right? These two teams start off like they are the champions of the world, but they don't really seem to be able to sustain their dominance towards the end of the competition. It could be because they are releasing their strats way too easy and some of the other teams kind of get a hold of them. And ever since Expand jumped into the scene, right back again to kind of torture Bloody Head, they've lost their command post hold, and they've truly unnerved the players of Bloody Head. I've never seen Bloody Heads perform so badly until the recent MCPS.
You see, that's the thing about esports in general, right?
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to stay up on the top. And, you know, even though you may have a really good start in the beginning of, like, your career, to sustain that takes a lot of concerted effort, and especially when you got new blood constantly coming into the scene, constantly bringing in new ideas, new strategies, maybe even new forms of aggression, can be very tough for long-time players to kind of keep up with that sort of progress inside the scene itself.
This is such a stacked team, and one of the best players in Axis Esports is 666 Raf, the Indonesian import. And I tell you, man, when this guy went onto the battlefield for the first time, represented Axis Esports in the very first big leagues game, he was a nuclear bomb on the battlefield.
What a way to put that.
But the nuclear bomb, you know, it wasn't the OG nuclear bomb that kind of has lasting effects. This lasted, I think, a maximum of 3 rounds.
Okay.
And then he just disappeared. I don't know what's up, right? But it looks like Bloody Heads has got a couple of new players in their team. We're talking about Jaws, Fiersu, as well as Diffusal joining Mark and Morgana. This new setup could just be that something new we were looking for this team for such a long time now.
Yeah, I mean, again, having a new team does bring its fair share of challenges, to be fair, but then it also brings a lot more excitement, I think.
Yeah.
Especially for the team that's been around as long as Bloody Heads themselves. So let's see how these two newcomers are going to fare now in this competition, because it's literally going to be throwing them right into the fire pit right now, right?
This is the fire pit, because we're talking about Group A and Group B, and you know, there were a few names within Group A that we didn't mention just yet. We're talking about Farang being in there, but you know, ones that I really want to look out for is Revenge. Revenge is the rebranded Orange Esports. It looks like the organization has let go of their squad. They're now branded Revenge. I'm not so sure what's up with this team, right? Because Orange Esports, or Revenge I have to say now, is built up of a squad of just pure dominance within the ranks of their players. But at the recent competition, Orange Esports, Revenge just didn't seem like they had much in them. They barely played their games. They barely could get anything done out there on the battlefield. Couldn't really make it to the grand finals. And it was pretty much just them bombing out throughout the whole competition. But I feel like there might have been some reasons behind the scene. They've rebranded. They have the name Revenge. Revenge against whom? Revenge against what? That's what I'm interested to find out in this competition.
That's a very interesting question to bring up there, isn't it? Revenge against whom specifically right
because
now?
If they perform well this time round, I'm gonna have way more questions, right? Because because it was a shocker.
Right.
Victor, when they just really couldn't get much done out there on the battlefield, it just seemed like the boys just didn't have that spirit in them anymore to fight on the battlefield of Free Fire. But I don't know if my spidey senses are not off just yet. I think Revenge is going to be making a statement in this competition.
Well, it has remains to be seen, to be fair, but I think that this might even be something that is going to be working out good for them. I mean, given the lack of result they got from that last one, it does feel like maybe a renewal is kind of in order for these guys. So perhaps this new rebranding, or rather this new sort of like a fresh kind of like a refresh, let's put it this way, for this team itself might just be the ticket for them to regain that former sort of dominant form they used to show, isn't it?
Pando EWG's in Group A as well. And I'm sorry for talking about so much about Group A. It's just that Group A is stacked. Anybody that goes up against Group A, they need to really worry about their drop spots. They really need to worry about some of their strategy. But of course, thanks to our sponsor, Snapdragon Elite Gaming, all of this is possible. It's just all out 4 days of non-stop action to find the top 12, Victor.
Indeed, and then again, we're so thankful for Snapdragon Elite Gaming for providing this platform here, because it's the only way we'll be able to show you guys the best of the best when it comes to Southeast Asia here. And really, the best of the best is what I kind of expect coming into these matches here. I mean, again, you know, seeing the way that teams fight in Free Fire is really a game of like reactions most of the time. You know, if you're a little bit too slow, you snooze, basically you lose, right?
You definitely do.
And the thing is that you also have to consider, you know, what weaponry you're going to be bringing into the fight there. It's a lot more important, I think, in this game specifically, because mechanically speaking, you're not really doing much except for, you know, putting up glue walls, you know, putting up a lot more reacting basically very quickly, rapidly to what your enemy's doing. And in this game specifically, with the lack of spray movement that you have to kind of memorize and stuff like that, it's really about the choice of weaponry that actually matters a lot more, doesn't it?
I mean, you know, it's something so different, right? Because you're talking about an FPS game that doesn't really focus all that too much of your mastery over the spray patterns, which is usually the case when you jump into an FPS game. But you know, you take that away and you throw in so many other elements into the game that just makes it exciting, right? And the glue walls are just an excitement. But now we've got the glue wall melter out there. And I just want to see that in action a little bit later on. I don't know who's going to be making best use of it, but that is going to be a game-changing item thrown into the fray here, Victor.
Exactly. So if you think that that's going to be changing the game for a lot of these guys, why don't you let us know inside the Twitch chat, because the match predictions are up right now. Go ahead and vote which teams or whichever players maybe, who do you think is going to be dominating this first day of competition here as we come into this open final. So anyways, kind of like, on that note about the glue bomb, that's going to be something that throws a lot of teams for a loop, right? Because we're already so used to the idea that battles is going to be completely littered with glue walls, left, right, and center. But now with this thing thrown in the mix right now, this is going to throw a lot of team strategies out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah, as its name says, it just melts your glue walls, right? So, you know, there's no such strategy of running out into the open and expecting your glue walls to just be that massive fort that protects you. You now have to worry about someone who can just detonate all of those glue walls, drop them like it's hot, and, you know, that's the last thing you want beside an ice wall because it just gets melted down. But look at AB Radicals. We want to focus on the fact that they have now dropped into that high-tier loot zone, and that is the usual meta for AB Radicals. Always following that blue circle, always getting the majority of the loot early in the game to dominate the late game.
It's why, like, once you pick those up very, very rapidly, that means you can start attacking. And speaking of attacks, Tacular getting attacked by the Axel does knock him down. And looks like Expanse already loses one member right off the bat here. This could be huge for right at the beginning of the match.
You know, in the past it used to be huge, but ever since Garena brought in the revival system into Free Fire, you know, life has just changed for the players, for us. The excitement level has changed as well, because now when you do have one of your players eliminated, in fact, you have 3 players eliminated on your team, no sweat, brother. You just get onto the revival platform, you bring them right back in, but therein lies the problem. Can you get to the revival point in time, and can you spend that whole duration and stay alive whilst your team members find their way back in? That is the issue here.
Yeah, that is certainly an issue. But then in the meantime, though, Farang has just found K9 Esports looting in the same area right now and just engage them in a firefight at the moment. It seems like Farang does have the high ground, or rather does have proper cover here. So K9 is just going to try to maneuver around, but it looks like Superman finds a target, keeps him surrounded, keeps him locked inside the shed right now. It's going to be a question to see whether the rest of his team is going to be able to come in and finish him off.
Yeah, Farang just splitting up a little bit too far away from each other. I don't really know exactly what is this setup now, but like I said, that revival item, the revival option just makes it into a game changer, right? Bison in the hands of the guy on the side of Farang, Superman, has got the shotgun. Let's see how they can circle around Wuxi. Just one grenade can put an end to him, but a good time turner is pulled out. And the response of a shot, headshot, Wuxi gets taken out. That's a game changer. Necro goes down as well. On fire, this guy with this pass, a double headshot. Necro's gonna bleed out. Superman backs away. And just like that, K9's running away from Farang. And Farang had a disadvantage when we first started.
Well, they may have a disadvantage, to be fair, but then again, now they're just going to be able to turn this around completely. Now the knockdown is going to come on Superman. Now this is going to hurt K9 so much right now. 2 members out on the map at the moment, and a triple kill to boot here for Farang.
Yep, Farang, I mean, they've got a lot to prove, man. At the MCPS Major Season 4, Farang pretty much bombed out. They were the ones who represented Malaysia on the Free Fire World stage the last time around, and that exact same expectation was put on them. I guess that was just way too much of pressure to deal with, Victor.
Yeah, and now it's Marky going to have to carry the rest of the team, hopefully to some place right now in this first match. But nevertheless, this is looking to be going to be a long game for him, though. He's going to have to play it very safe. No longer are K9 going to be able to play on that aggression here. It's just going to be more or less a hide and seek here. More hiding, I guess, for Marky.
He's not hiding, man. He's running out in the open, Marky. But I think he's got a plan. He's just trying to get into Catalysiwa. There is a revival platform there, and it doesn't seem like anybody's going to stand in his way, so the probability of K9 bringing all of the team members right back in is high. RSX, on the other hand, trying to circle their way in, only to come across GeekFam. But the thing here is, it just looks like this one icon of GeekFam. Apis has strayed away from the rest of his team members, and just as I say that, on the minimap, we see 2 other dots. So GeekFam is in this compound. They can retaliate. RSX just has to take this circle around into the next compound a little bit more safely, because they're out in the open here, Victor.
Yeah, there's plenty of cover that GeekFam can make use in that urban environment. I think that Apis has just been spotted, so he's just taken a bit of damage right now. So GeekFam knows another team is eyeing them up right now, and they're already getting themselves into positions here. You can see them already regrouping here. They're anticipating a fight to be coming up here, because now at this stage here, the circle suddenly come in, at least by taking these early fights here. They could potentially set themselves some good points here before inevitably that final circle comes around.
That's the way. RSX now, I'm having a little bit more belief in this squad, the Rebellion Squad KTP, mainly because they backed away. They saw a couple of players and they didn't want to take a engagement that could just put them in a disadvantaged position. That's the kind of team that makes it into the final circle, man. Not those who kind of just get a little cheeky with some of their gunfights. But Spade now being pressured by the blue zone. Tanamo trying to take him out from one corner. Wine flanks around from the right-hand side. AB Radicals should be able to bag Spade up. The blue zone just kind of putting on a little bit too much of damage, and that flank by Wine 1 gets the job done. And the next one on the mark is going to be Jezbu.
I mean, this is the perfect kind of gatekeep setup, isn't it, for AV Radicals? I mean, perfect positioning here, and then now Wine 1 going aggressively to try to finish off the kill. Jezbu puts up a time turner. He goes into Chrono here, trying to fight around his shield, but still, unfortunately, it's going to Jezbu. It goes down. The glue wall is going to be brought up because Wine 1 is taking fire from the side now, and his teammate is going to be joining him around. Inside the blue zone here, it looks like they've already eliminated most of the squad that was out in the blue zone here. Now it's just going to be a scramble to get back into the safe zone.
Yeah, Farang still being tortured by AB Radicals regardless of competition. AB Radicals, as usual, courtesy of Wine, the best CQC player out there in the competition so far that we have seen in recent times. Just having no fear whatsoever. That double barrel was more than enough to shut down 2 players. The other 2 wasn't caught because they just didn't spot them, man. So Farang still walks away alive. Tua, on the other hand, this is Pando EWG, one of the teams that not many expected to do well in the grand finals of MCPS Major Season Season 4, but they got up to that 6th spot, which is amazing for Pando EWG. When it matters, Pando knows how to get the dub.
Yep. Oh, it's EWG now trying to fight back here, but the thing is, this could turn up into a three-way battle. Now, granted, I think Expand is very much square inside the danger zone right now, so it's not likely they're going to be reaching out. But at the moment, look at WL, they're just going constantly. The Warlords is just literally trying to stomp over here to find or flush out the rest of EWG, but EWG is using this urban environment right now to their advantage to try to keep themselves out of harm's way. But nevertheless, are they going to be able to get a knockdown? Yes, they do get a knockdown and kill, in fact, onto Manic. And Warlords now your kill leader at the moment on the map, though we do see the Axis and AV Radicals are locked in their own battle at the same time. And it seems like kills are also happening on that end. Right now, though, for Warlords, they've already finished off one team. Now, but AV Radicals just got eliminated. What happened there?
Champions kicked out already and we missed that gunfight? How could you, production? How could you? But it doesn't matter. Now Expand is about to snuff out the Warlords. They are the top 2 in Malaysia, so it's in Malaysia. They are the #1 team, right? And the Warlords better watch out. They've got no idea exactly who's in front of them. Mark, on the other hand, on the side of Bloody Head, they visit the compound of Geek Fam. Geek Fam shuts them down, but there can be a savior in disguise approaching this compound. Maybe that'll help Mark survive this, but the distraction needs to happen right now.
Oh, I think the bigger threat is definitely going to be PRG right now. Geek Fam's going to have to turn around, and Mark might be able to use this opportunity to slip away, but it seems like Geek Fam might just be thinking about finishing off Bloody Head for good here before the inevitable next strike is going to come. So Mark, unfortunately, is locked up on the second floor. That's a good toss. Good kill right there. My goodness. Bloody Head's unfortunately swiped off the map.
Hakimi, God made fantastic accuracy, and he cooked it up perfectly. The moment it hit the ground, it went kaboom, and Bloody Head followed the lead of AV Radicals. Two Filipino teams taken out so quickly.
But they're not quite out of the woods yet, though. PRG are literally coming up to the clock tower right now, and Geek Fam knows it too. So they're trying to dig themselves in here. But look at this. This circle now getting very, very crowded. Expanse also moving in. Warlords following very closely behind. Expanse might be able to gatekeep them somewhat if they'll be able to just set themselves well in Factory. In fact, they already spotted Tacular, putting some good shots there, putting him down a little bit. Now Cobra is going to be chasing in to try to finish them off. But then watch out. Rest of Warlords are also just over this wall right now, and X-Roy is going to have to be very, very careful about this approach. He spots someone there, sends out the glue wall buster. I don't think it's going to be busting any walls at the moment, though, as they are waiting to see whether or not Warlord is going to be coming in straight away. Cobra, unfortunately, having to put himself out of harm's way. Their glue walls keeping him alive for now as he gets back to the rest of his team, and Warlord's right now desperate to try to get into the safe zone because they're now fighting inside the blue zone right now, and unfortunately, 2 of them gets himself knocked out. It expands. Wow! Just runs them over like that. Triple kill for X-Roy.
X-Roy, the Annihilator. This guy with a Mag 7 and Charge Buster in hand. Nothing can stop him. A double shotgun setup by X-Roy, wanting to be a CQC specialist himself. This is a little bit of a surprising setup because usually you look at the players who play that CQC on the side of Expand just too fast, as well as Cobra. X-Roy and Axel usually they hold quite the long angles. Now this might just be a setup that is suited for the World Series, and they're starting to practice these plays a little bit early. I like that from Expand. But are they comfortable yet with this play style? It seems like they are, as Tacular, the final player outside of the circle for the side of Warlords, so low in HP, and Too Fast is still annoying, waiting for him to drop down onto that lower ground.
I think he hears the footsteps. He knows that he's being checked. He's being hunted right now. He needs to find a way to get above Too Fast here. At least he has a high ground somewhat, but he's stuck in that corner because of the way this circle has turned out. So he's locked in a heart, rocking a heart place there, and Cobra finally puts him out of his misery.
Yep, Expand shutting down the Warlords just as expected. Farang, on the other hand, back in together as a full squad. That revival system giving them a lot of advantages here. K9 Esports, on the other hand, have a couple of team members outside of the next circle, but it doesn't really matter just yet as the blue zone doesn't catch up with them. Axis Esports still taking their own sweet time before hopping on into the next safe zone. A lot of time not available as that circle is moving continuously. You need to get there first. You need to find a safe spot for yourself, just like PRG. Paragon is sated in, and they don't look like they want to get involved in any one of these gunfights.
I mean, they're doing the very safe thing, right? Get right in the middle of that circle, just wait for the next one to come in and let everyone else fight on their own. And speaking of those fights, K9 getting fired upon by Farang. Spade trying to go for the flank, gets spotted by Wuxi, but unfortunately Wuxi doesn't quite get the knockdown, so she is going to have to just stay in that second floor and just wait for someone to come upstairs here before she's going to be able to counterattack that. But in the meantime, what's the rest of the team going to be able to do right now? They're a little bit outside of the zone there, as the rest of PRG are just going to be storming into the front here. They do take out Expand completely, so that's two powerhouses already taken out of Group A and B. What is going on here, my man?
Well, based on our conversation, Victor, we now have identified the storyline. The storyline is not going to be the two representatives who are going to be going on to the World Series to use all of these other boys on this practicing ground. Instead, others are going to be using them to prove exactly how good they are on the battlefield. The top two, supposedly from Asia Pacific, knocked down onto the ground already. Let's see if or not they can make it back in the other matches. Farang, on the other hand, still surviving. K9 taking over the lowest bottom of the stairs. A double glue wall setup will barricade them down, but the backstab by Jesbu hits a double and K9 bites the dust. Necro runs away. Jembal says, come back here, boy. Double barrel doesn't catch him just yet, and that final shot puts him out of his misery.
Wow, I mean, that was a very, very hectic fight, but I think Farang just handled that completely well. I mean, blocking off that stairwell was the first step of that plan, but they still needed to try to meet them on the ground there, but good knockdowns all around from that top side allowed them to just dominate the rest of them. And then now we're seeing a fight between the RVG and Geek Fam around the corner there. Yep, they're trying very, very hard to use these glue walls to keep Axis out of the way there, and it actually kind of blocks their movement a little bit. Now they're trying to go for a little bit of a stack up here to see if they're going to be able to just build this wall. Oh, the wall, it still did not work. The bomb still gets through, and Farang becomes your new kill leader by taking out Axis Esports.
And this next fight is gonna be huge. It's Revenge going up against Farang. Farang, the kill leaders of this lobby, but Revenge wants to really prove themselves. Now that glue wall buster drops down into the ground. All of those glue walls have roughly about 5 seconds out there on the battlefield as they get melted down to the ground. Dikos turns around, but Ganza helps him out. Jembal dropped onto the ground. Spade strikes back at Dikos. Kamal Tom steps on up. Spade shuts him down. Back and forth. Revenge is running circles around Farang.
Yeah, they just gotta have to get themselves back up to speed though, but then the rest of the teams are just scrambling to try to get into the circle right now. Just only getting around to the edge here, and now they're gonna be meeting Farang in direct battle here, trying to set and getting a knockdown just in time though. This could be really bad for Farang right now as they are turning tail, trying to run away. Then Revenge is still coming in, serving them a complete fight here, and the Revenge dish best served cold.
Yeah, this is that prediction. Revenge wanted to make a statement, and this is that statement. And now they are one of the craziest team members out there on the battlefield, the kill leaders of this lobby. And Geek Fam, they go ahead to meet Paragon first, just on the very edge of the circle. Revenge needs to make their way across that body of water, but thankfully all of the other players, all of the other teams are distracted. They use that point of distraction. Kamal, Thorn, Ipens, Error, just the trio on for the survival on the opposite side. They don't need to do much. They tease the players of Geek Fam though. They send those shots out, and now they've got people having their eyes on them. This might just be trouble for Revenge.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of trouble there for them because it's a little bit outside of the zone right now, trying to make their way inside. But unfortunately, a huge firefight right now as Geek Fam has one knockdown there. Era 7, I think it's not going to be too long for this world right now, but it's fortunate enough he has that rock for cover at the moment. But a little bit of a scramble here for Geek Fam as Farang is just trying, 3RG, Paragon trying very best to take down Hazik. Hazik down to a sliver of his health, still gets another knockdown anyway though. What a play there by Hazik.
And Bando EWG out already. It's just Revenge going up against Geek Fam right now. Hazik backs away, recovers first. 13 medkits on him. Nothing can touch this boy. Ipens has got the charge buster. Backs away, pulls out a double glue wall. Meets Hakimi halfway through. Now this Ice Nade can do a lot of damage. And they drop in the glue wall buster instead, melting all of the glue walls that Hazik and Hakimi can potentially bring up. And look at Era 7 holding back away from the rest of those players. But that blue zone is going to be pressuring them in. AC80 and AWM, but the walls help the players of Geek Fam out. iPen's trying to control them, Victor.
Yeah, Kamal Torm taken out. Era 7 still in the fight right now. So is Apans, but Apans is only
iPen!
taken out. No! He gets taken out. The Booyah gets picked up by Geek Fam.
And it looks like Geek Fam has stepped up their gameplay out there on the battlefield. We were trying to identify the storyline. Was it gonna be the two representatives who are in this competition who have earned their place at the World Series for Free Fire, dominating the whole competition? Or is it gonna be these other teams proving themselves against the two titans? And the story just pans out whereby those two titans bomb out super early. And those that barely performed at the MCPS Major Season 4 are right up at the top. I mean, talk about revenge. The massive number of kills. They've got their revenge. But the question is, against whom?
That's a big question, isn't it? But nevertheless, they certainly played really well in this round. And I think that was probably like a 4th or 5th place finish for them. That's still really, really good, especially considering the powerhouse teams that we had in this competition. And emphasis on hat, though, because what the heck happened to AV Radicals? Unfortunately, we did manage to see it live at the moment, but it looked like they were locked in a battle and just ended up losing too many members right from the get-go.
I have no idea who took them down. We didn't catch that fight. I was preoccupied with whatever that was happening on the screen at that point of time. It's a little bit of a pity that we didn't get to watch AV Radicals, get eliminated, I guess. But, it's not the only match.
Yeah,
it's Free Fire, baby. We've got match after match after match. We've got 6 games in store here for us. And groups A and B, they are in 4 of these matches. So I'll take this, man. Let's go. We've still got a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more still incoming here for the rest of the day right now, because this is literally the first match. We still have so much more to play here. We still have 2 groups in the waiting, to come in. And I think the next group's C is going to be able to finally get a little bit of experience of battle right here, because that's going to be the next round that will be coming up soon here, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to be looking at the replays here. So, I think the main thing we really want to see is what happened to AV Radicals there, because we thought they were going to be able to put up a good fight. We thought they were going to be making it to the final circle, but I think as well, the fights we did manage to catch up here, like Revenge. I mean, what a play to manage to pull, especially in that final circle there. Axis Esports, this setup here where they literally put up the wall, thought it was going to be a good play, but look at that, the bomb literally explodes on the top, affects both of them, knocks both of them down.
And it takes a lot of skill to execute a toss of the grenade like that. You got to cook it up just perfectly, man. And you got to time it really well as well. And there was no way he could have predicted a glue wall on glue wall stack at that point of time. He had already pre-aimed to throw that grenade. By God's grace, the second glue wall that was erected was not enough to stop it. Grenade gets a knock. Axis Esports got tap out in that matchup. But Farang, who led themselves into that fight against Revenge right after that, that was a little unexpected. I expected Farang to put up a little bit of a stronger fight because of how Revenge has been performing in the recent past. And I've been saying this in that competition as well. It just doesn't seem like the players were trying. In fact, it really looked like they just had no mood to play Free Fire at all.
Maybe that's why they needed this rebrand, that's why they needed to kind of like make themselves anew. And I think this is going to be a really important step for them right now as this new squad here, because it feels like they're reinvigorated, they're re-energized right now.
They've got the mood.
Exactly. So let's see how they're going to be able to carry this momentum forward here, because I'm going to be expecting good things for coming out from them in the next few matches. So that's definitely going to be one team to watch out for.
Yeah, okay. Bermuda, done and dusted. Now let's hop on over to Kalahari. We know the pace of the matchup changes just a little bit. The play style changes a little bit as well. You've got a lot of these hills and terrains and mountains that you need to traverse through. You need a grappling hook. That's one of the main things you want to aim for when you're in your looting phase at Kalahari. If you get it, good on you. If you don't get it, a little bit too sad for you, because you're not going to be able to really dominate Kalahari at its best. The grappling hooks are a must in that looting process, but it's all up to luck and whether or not you can pick it up. But there's another item that we haven't seen in action today. The grenade launcher. That in itself is a mini package of destruction, but it's surprising that no one picked it up.
Well, I mean, you have to consider that it might be a little bit difficult to use. Like, again, you still have to consider that Kalahari itself, especially, will have a lot of verticality. That's why the grappling hook is very, very important. You want to be able to scale up to the high ground there, especially if you already have teams set up there. But I think grenade launchers, in context right now, do they really do enough damage to glue walls? Because I feel that will be the most utility they will mostly find.
Yeah.
Is that if glue walls become a little bit too packed,
Yeah.
perhaps a grenade launcher might be able to provide the area of damage enough that will be able to damage whoever is trying to hide within that zone. So maybe it's a very situational kind of weapon instead of rather a kind of weapon you bring to an assault. Because naturally, I think if you're going to be going for all-out assault, you'll be using the tried and true tested meta guns like the Mag 7, for example. Nothing really beats a Mag 7 at close range, especially. And I think a grenade launcher, if you're going to be fighting at long range anyway, might as well use an AR or a sniper rifle.
Yeah, a grenade launcher in the right hands turns into a sniper rifle. A grenade launcher in the right hands turns into a combination between a sniper rifle and a shotgun. It's a one-hit delete as long as you can aim it well. And I absolutely agree with you. Against glue walls, grenade launcher, nah.
Yeah.
But the meta has really changed, man. You can see some dominators out there with the grenade launcher these days. And I'm talking about, who's the best one to take as an example? Too Fast. Too Fast from Expand. He's one of the best grenade launcher players available out there on the battlefield. He never strikes the glue wall. It's either at the top or at the sides of it. And I don't know what's up with this child, but his predictions are always on point. You either got to pop it on the left-hand side of the glue wall, on the right-hand side of the glue wall, and no matter where he lobs that grenade, he almost always gets a knock. And sometimes he just lobs two grenades, one to the left and one to the right. Where are you going to run? Nowhere, brother. You get piled in. Grenade launcher for the win. But the question still stands. Who's going to be able to get their hands on it? It's quite the OP weapon if you're lucky enough to find it.
But I think that also illustrates another point, because how many other players are able to match his level of proficiency, right?
Yeah.
So I do think that it's kind of a risk versus reward kind of thing going on here, because some teams may not even have someone who is capable of being able to play at that level.
True.
So if you do pick up the grenade launcher, it might actually be useless in your regard. It's just going to take up an equipment slot for you. It's going to not going to get as effective. And if you get taken on by Too Fast and he steals his
knock yourself out with the grenade launcher, GGWP.
Exactly. So it's a really hard thing. So that's why I still feel that for the vast majority of teams, it's still probably going to be a very situational thing. But granted, you do have a point. If you are capable, you do have the skills for it, then you definitely can make that grenade launcher work out for yourself.
Absolutely, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've talked a lot. They've played a lot. We won more matches. But before that, a quick short break. When we come back, it's going to be round 2 at Kalahari.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Will get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test. Like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed. So now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt. Cause I know my worth. And I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what it's meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You want to compete, well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test. Like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed. So now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt. Cause I know my worth. And I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me. How'd I turn pain into energy? Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
And welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 for Asia Pacific. And this whole competition is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, as well as Kachi Shop. My name's AJ, I'm the Musashi, down here with the one and only Victor Cax. We are your broadcasters for the day. And what an amazing match game number 1 has been. The ones that we expected to dominate bombed out, and the ones that we were expecting to execute revenge got up to the top, but it was Geek Fam that made the eternal comeback. But can this last though, Victor?
I mean, that's a big eternal question, isn't it? I mean, the next match is going to be a different map completely, so the game plans, the strategy is going to have to be a little bit different this time around. That's kind of the test for these groups, right? Are they only dominant in one specific map, or are they going to be dominant on both maps here? That's going to be the question that they will have to answer here today. But bigger question in my mind is what happened to those two teams that we thought were going to be big in this tournament. They got eliminated so early on here that they barely made a dent in this first match itself. So I guess like it's pretty much a free fire zone right now as far as these teams are concerned, because any team I feel might have a chance to dominate here. And with Geek Fam already firing off that first salvo, so to speak, it's going to be up to them now to see if they can carry the momentum to these next rounds.
Well, when you have got two of the top teams taken out of the competition very early on in the game, it's just really going to open up the battlefield for a lot more of those elimination points to be shared across the board. Because usually what you see is when Expand and AV Radicals makes it into that final circle, they're selfish. They bag all of the kill points for themselves. And that's something that just didn't happen in match number 1 this time round. But today, Group A only has 2 games. Group B has a marathon of 4 matches to run back to back. So you're pretty much safe if you're in Group B if you faltered once in game number 1. But if you are in Group A, you really need to step up your game, because this is your second and last opportunity of the day.
Exactly. So this is how the standings are as far as these groups are concerned right now. Geek Fam, of course, having the bulk of the points right now, having taken the first booyah of the day. So that's already 12 points for placement, and on top of that, 12 kills in total. That's more than everyone else on the map right now. So 24 points is going to be the benchmark here that Geek Fam has set in this first round itself.
Yeah, and we've seen Geek Fam do so much better than this. I believe they've even hit a 40 bomber once in the history of their free fire. But of course, not every day is a Sunday, not every day is a 40-point bomb a day. 24 is more than decent to get them a pretty dominating spot, but Revenge is just on their heels with 20 points, 11 eliminations, and 9 on the placement points. They almost got the booyah, but Geek Fam had the defensive spot, and that's something that Revenge really needs to look out for in this next game. Farang, on the other hand, aggressive all throughout the matchup, but their run came to a little bit of an unfortunate end as they got caught a little bit too early between Geek Fam as well as Revenge earlier.
And that's the kind of problem, isn't it? When you throw a little bit too early to fight, sometimes you tend to lose out here. But for Geek Fam, nevertheless, this has been a really good matchup for them. I mean, 6,234 points of damage and 13 headshots. That's a very accurate shooting coming out from the members of Geek Fam here. And with a total survival time of 17 minutes, not too surprising given they did get to the final circle anyway. But I think for Geek Fam, they certainly have already set a tone right now for the day here. So let's see whether or not they'll be able to keep this going on. The next match is going to be on Kalahari. It's going to be a very different kind of battleground here. You're going to be more emphasized on, you know, that verticality of the specific place, and also the use of vehicles. That's going to be a big talking point right now, is whether or not you're going to be finding favorable vehicles, especially if each of the members get single vehicles. That's going to be the most ideal kind of setup, because it allows you to cover so much ground.
The last time I took a vehicle into Kalahari, it didn't really end up very well for me. I drove it off a cliff. So my usual game plan on Kalahari was stay away from the vehicles, AJ, because you just bad on it. Free fire vehicles, AJ, we just don't get along. But you know what I do look forward to in Kalahari? That is taking that drop into Refinery. It is one of the most central spots that Farang has turned into their home ground in the recent past. But they've also second-guessed themselves so many times, because Farang just used to be one of the most dominant teams when it comes to Kalahari, when it comes to Refinery. And then they, for some weird reason, chose to switch up their gameplay, assuming that other teams were going to catch up with their playstyle, which nobody did, by the way. And then they just started throwing away their strats, which I know. The look on your face is the look on my face throughout the whole competition. And I was wondering, Farang, why? Why? Just why? But maybe, just like how Revenge has gone back to their winning ways, Geek Fam has gone back clearly to their winning ways, Farang will go back to Refinery and start winning as well. Maybe.
That would be the hope.
One can hope.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are hoping that will happen as well, why don't you go ahead and vote inside the Twitch chat here? Because we're waiting to see what your predictions are right now. Clearly, our predictions haven't meant a lot in that first round, so maybe you guys at home might do a little bit better this time.
I did predict Revenge though. I did predict them having some sort of a statement. But here's the problem though, bro. Revenge, I would hate for them to be a one-hit wonder. I want to see them perform again in this second matchup. Let's see what they've got in here for us. And it looks like we've got them, and we've also got the Bahasa casters with us now.
Oh, yep. A little bit. So I think apologies for the slight sound issue there. But nevertheless, Ipan's right now having the high ground in this fight against K9, though it seems that AV Radicals already picked up a kill of their own. They're involved in their own fight on their side. And they already picked up the kill leader, so they're already eliminating the Warlords right off the bat. So, okay, good start for them so far. Bloody Heads as well getting into the mix. But at the moment, though, Revenge not really finding the advantage right now against K9. We do see D-Cause getting himself up close and personal. Is he going to be able to put a flank, though? I think it's just been spotted. Now he's going to be hiding behind his wall. It's going to be a bit of an awkward spot for him because he's on a low ground. He's going to put out a buster, I think. Okay, no. It's going to be a little bomb there, but still, that only puts Marky down about halfway through. D-Cause still needs to try to find a way to flank him around. He's unfortunately going to be a little bit surrounded here. Scott's oh, that's a good shot there. Takes down Superman, so now he's going to be a little bit safer now. That's forcing K9 to be in a little bit defensive position for now. But where are the rest of Revenge? Why are they not capitalizing on this in the moment? Oh, I see why exactly. Era 7, he's just dealing pot shots from a distance.
Yeah, from a distance. Yeah, he's trying to whack everybody down. Finds one. But the rotation here from Kamal, Nikos is going to be able to find that backstab. Gets a double. K9 Esports follows the Warlords. And by the way, if anybody was wondering, wait a minute, Warlords, what happened? I'm pretty much going to guess what happened. They followed the players of Bloody Head into Command Post. Command Post is the home of Bloody Head whenever we drop into Kalahari. That's probably what happened, and Warlords understood why nobody hot drops Bloody Heads there. Even Expand have chosen to move away from Command Post because of what an annoying team Bloody Head is when you meet them there.
Yeah, so Warlords and K9, the first two casualties of round number 2 right now at Kalahari. Do you see Paragons as well losing a single member? Revenge seems to be able to revive one of their own right now, so Impan is back in play here. Now we're going to be seeing a bit of a 4-way actually forming in this side of the map. We do see RSX, we do see Axis and Expanse as well in the same area, though it seems like RSX already spotted Axis here, so Chassis, I think he just was scouting for his team now. Now that he's already spotted Axis, he's trying to make his way back. Unfortunately, he's getting fired upon now, taking a lot of damage right now, doesn't have a lot of cover, does manage to get himself towards containers now, but he's caught out in a very, very bad way. He's going to need some help here from the rest of RSX here, because I think he's not going to be long if the rest of Axis decide to make chase here. Now Chassis is going to try to fire back. Axis, are they going to be fighting here?
This is case in point as to why you want to pick up the grappling hook. You saw how Tiasi just literally hopped twice, and that was one heck of a long bunny hop that got him across from his defense behind a boulder. The guy's still alive. You need that grappling hook when you drop on it to Kalahari. Now here's someone playing the meta that I played and deeply regretted very quickly. So let's see if or not Axel will end up regretting as well, as he parks his car just beside his brothers. Expand, trying to take over this compound, and Farang might just be annoying enough to take them out of the equation. Refinery, this is one of the top spots we were talking about, and Farang holds on to it. But here's the difference. Usually they hold on to the platforms of Refinery. Now they've pushed out onto the outer boundaries, which for my personal preference, I just don't like. Because every time Farang has done this, they've paid quite the high price and lost their compound.
I can see why they like the spot though, because it does give them a huge overview of the refinery itself. So they're just using that information here, gathering as much as they can about what Expanse is doing at the moment. But right now, Expanse seems to be very much content just digging themselves in here. Though Cobra putting some pot shots is going to be calling a bit of attention to themselves here. So I wonder if that's going to be calling some of the teams to surround the command post right now. In the meantime, though, AV Radicals are starting to make some moves here to get into towards the ruins at the moment. That's getting a little bit closer where Revenge is, though. So let's see if AV Radicals are going to have a much better round than they did in that first one on Bermuda.
Yeah, maybe AV Radicals will have a little bit of revenge by using Revenge themselves. I don't know, no pun intended, it's just their name. But now Revenge backs away. Pando, EWG, the ones who are being teased. And it looks like Revenge just wants to flank around from the outer regions, from the right-hand side. They send out 2 players trying to catch the players of Pando EWG off guard. Decos and Kamal Tom getting the job of rotation done. And it looks like Pando EWG does not suspect anything at all.
Oh, Twas, he was on top here, and unfortunately the high ground allows him to get one knockdown, but unfortunately he's going to be surrounded here, putting himself in a little bit of a tight spot with the glue walls around. Era 7 trying to find an edge here in order to try to take down Twas. Does get high ground. The glue wall comes out just in time, but unfortunately Twas gets knocked down. And this is going to put EWG in a bad spot here because he was providing them information from the high ground. Take them out. And then now Manic takes out one as well here. So EWG, they managed to just hold off this fight here, but now they're down 2 men.
See, that's my question. Are you going to be a one-hit wonder? Looks like the answer is unfortunately yes. AV Radicals, on the other hand, trying to clean up house at Mammoth. Pando EWG now at a disadvantage as they are on the lower ground as well as down in terms of numbers. AV Radicals, on the other hand, they've got them all covered. Tanamo with the backstab. Manchai distracted, and therefore he's now going to get taken out from the back. Ritus is already there. Manchai tries to look behind. Rage steps on in. Tanamo says, get out of here with the Mag 7. Manchai now, that backup. Ritus wants it, and Manchai gets taken down. Wine with the AC80 CQC. That guy's a monster, I tell you.
Ugh, and with that done, AV Radicals regains a kill lead on the map right now. Triple kill here from Wine 1. But again, it's going to be a question whether or not they can keep this up. But so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing from their side. Axis at the moment looking like they're trying to gatekeep one of the members of Geek Fams here, Yasta, unfortunately out in the blue zone right now, and Axis very firmly in the confinement area. The rest of Geek Fam, unfortunately, a little bit down south, so Yasta is a little bit out of reach there for the rest of his team to support. Nevertheless, though, now the second circle is already shown up here in Axis. Wow, we're already having such a good position here. They don't really need to move Farang as well inside the middle of the circle itself on the Bayfront. Paragon will be reaching in, and they might actually encounter RSX on the way down south here. Expanse making some moves there. They might actually bump into Farang anytime soon.
Yeah, and now they are out in the open. Farang can punish the players of Expand. We catch sight of X-Roy, who just gets dropped off by the side, pulls up a double glue wall for the extra defense, needs to patch himself up real quickly. The rest of the players of Expand, they circle around. X-Roy tries to hop on up. That grappling hook kind of falls short because of the tight corner. He busts his glue wall down just so he can reposition. But Farang now caught in a tight little corner. Can they fight back? It's all going to depend on how the players of Expand circle around.
Yeah, I mean, right now, too bad it's stuck in the house here. He does have his teammate upstairs for backup, so he knows that if things get really dicey down the ground floor, he can always make it up to the first floor. Unfortunately, dicey doesn't quite describe it here because Farhan does get the first knockdown, takes out X-Roy completely. So now Expanse is 1 member less. Now we just see Cobra trying to get on the rooftop here to fight against Spade, forcing him down on the ground. Unfortunately, the knockdown as well. Too bad now, trying to prevent Cobra from being surrounded, but unfortunately, the rest of Expanse now pouring into the site. They're going to make it very hard for Farhan to hold the position. Unfortunately, with the Spade now, I think he's got knocked down, completely taken out. Jezebel desperately trying to regain control of the situation here. Too Fast also being knocked down. Will they be able to take out the rest of Expanse here? Look at that, just face to face, trying to get the knockdown, not able to get the knockdown here. Jezebel just hides away. Expanse right now very much hurting at this point. 2 members down, 1 member down. Oh, it's literally down to the axle here right now.
Yeah, and 3v1, it looks like this is the end of Expand. They get eliminated in the 9th spot. Farang has the perfect revenge, but it's not the end of the competition just yet. And therefore, the warning bells have gone off for Expand, but it's also a blessing in disguise for all of the other teams out there who get to share some of these elimination points for themselves instead of just having 1 or 2 teams grab everything for their own. And it looks like AV Radicals hasn't really, dominated the camera all that too much. But in terms of kills, they've managed to find their mark.
Well, at the moment, it seems like they're just camped up in the refinery there. I mean, it makes sense for them not budge at this point. It's still within the circle at the moment. Though I think by next circle, they may be forced to get out in the open here. EWG, I think they may have spotted bloody hits there. In fact, the shot's already definitely confirming the bloody hits is in that position there. So now that the circle has already come round, it's half of refinery complete taken out. Yep, definitely AV Radicals will be on the move. And we already see Tanamo already making his way into the safe zone of the circle as we see Geek Fam exchanging shots right now. EWG is a three-way battle around Santa Catarina right now, and boy oh boy, it's going to be more of a long-range type of battle here. Not the kind of battle you usually take here at Free Fire, but for the moment, all three of them, Bloody Hits, Geek Fam, and EWG, locked in battle.
If Bloody Head knows what's good for them, they should start rotating into the next circle right now, or else it's going to be a little too late. They've got 40 seconds to get the job done, and if you get distracted with a gunfight so far outside of the circle, you are going to regret, man. That blue zone's probably not going to kill you off, but it's going to damage you just enough to make the elimination for some of the other teams a little bit too easy when they gatekeep you. RSX and Axis Esports, they start their skirmish off, just teasing each other with a couple of shots just fast. As we look at the bird's eye view, AV Radicals makes their way in. They should come across the players of Farang, and it looks like all of the teams are quite passive at this moment. They just want to find the circle first, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to try to be passive at this point because you never quite know. At this stage of the game, all the teams will be quite well farmed up. They will have definitely a lot of good equipment and weaponry to boot. And at this point, you just really are just poking from a distance right now because you don't want to risk that face-to-face confrontation this early on. But I think that might be forced sooner rather than later here. Jembal taking a lot of damage. He jumps out the window here. AV at the moment getting a kill there. Quadra kill for Wine 1 right now, though unfortunately his teammate Toos has taken quite a bit of damage. Too bad. Trying to exchange fire there on the rooftop with Rimmel 1, and Rimmel 1 forced to try to hide behind the glue wall in order to heal, so that's going to give a bit of respite. Now the glue buster is going to be brought out on this floor right now to try to clear up the stairwell to allow access to the lower floor, but Jerzabu is already making his way out of there, out of dodge, trying to get out of the crossfire here because now AV is going to have to focus on another target, which is Paragon, who's just set up across the street.
Yeah, Paragon just teasing the players of AV Radicals. Question is, does AV Radicals have enough resources to focus on two teams at the very same time? Wine drops that glue wall melted, tries to get those glue walls away, but it just pretty much seems to be a couple of waste of resources if you ask me, because Farang doesn't really want to engage just yet. They back away. Circle's still big, so there's still a lot of time in here. But this next circle is going to determine how much of movement we see. Not a lot from Farang and AV Radicals, but AV Radicals might back away towards the edge just so that they can gatekeep Paragon a little bit here.
Yeah, but that's going to give a lot of agency to Farang, and but I think Farang will have their own problems though if Bloodhound decides to make the move onto the ground. If we still see Axis and RSS continuing their firefight, they're going to be outside the safe zone as soon as this blue zone closes in. They're going to have to move, so they need to finish off this fight quickly because see Chiasi making a very brave move to try to flank them from behind. Is this going to work out for them? Is this going to give them an opening so that the rest of RSS can make it to the circle? I think it's going to be a very risky move, but I think they have to try.
Yeah, from afar, it looks like the players of Paragon are getting picked off one after the other by AV Radicals! And RSX Paragon, you're looking the wrong way! One grenade tossed in. Tanamo misses by 3 miles. Now hops on over their own roof, and this is him trying to attack from up above. Wine, on the other hand, pushing from the bottom. This is the kind of two-way pizza that teams usually do not survive from. Paragon trying to take one out, but Tanamo tosses in a perfect god nade to take one out of the equation. Now just a duo left, but Twix responds. Can he take him out? A double nade, but no, the second one's just a ice grenade that teases them. But Wine gets knocked down onto the ground. Twix gets him as well. What is going on? It looks like Wine was just picked up, but that ice grenade was just enough to knock him right back down.
Oh, it's an absolute scrum right now because 3 teams just vying for the same spot at the moment. RSX, AV Radicals, and Paragon just constantly fighting in the chaos, and it looks like RSX unfortunately will be knocked out first here. So now AV Radicals only need to focus on one more team there. That's going to be Paragon, but can they find him, though? Already in, just outside of this building right now as the blue zone circles in there. Now AV Radical's going to be taking a lot more damage than the previous circles here. They're going to be forced to run towards the safe zone quickly here, which may put them in a bit of exposure there. Jembel, in the meantime, though, taking his opportunity to get some kills onto Axis, trying his very best to keep Axis off of their spot as Axis tries to keep them surrounded on the ground floor. Now, the thing is that Farang, at least with Jembel holding the line here on the second floor, makes sure that no one can get close without him at least bringing an attack there. But Axis Esports, they're keeping them surrounded. They really want to take out the Farang right now. As AV Radicals, I think they're just taking out another member of Paragon here. And right now, let's see whether or not they're going to be able to make the storm in as Axis now getting right up against the window. Jembel now forced to get down to the ground here to help out Jezebel, who's taking a lot of damage there. The glue buster comes out. Jezebel is exposed now. Is he going to be able to stay alive? He's going to try to run out with it. No, he does not. He gets knocked down by 2-1. Now it's going to be Rimmel that takes the killing spree here. And it looks like Res Axis very much in trouble now. One last member left for them as AV Radicals completely take over the building here. Jezebel running away now as Y1 takes a shot. Doesn't make the hit.
Doesn't make the hit, but Axis Esports, they get taken out of the equation. AV Radicals already outdone the performance of Geek Fam when it comes to the kills. Eliminations, they've got 14 points on their side. Farang with the final survivor. Jezebel manages to get the one and only Orin out of the equation as well. Paragon put out of the equation, all in the hands of Jezebel, but he doesn't have much time to use that medkit. Tadamo comes flying on in, but he takes himself out of the equation, drops himself. Rainiel helps him right back up, and now outside of the zone, they get pressured, but AV Radicals still alive. Farang taken out by the zone. AV Radicals has to deal with Pando EWG. Bloody Head still alive and kicking as well, but Wine is about to sort that out. Trip Mine thrown out, but Wine finds him with the double barrel. Bloody Head's in the third spot, and it's now Pando versus AV.
Yeah, AV Radicals versus EWG.
Grenade launcher!
Grenade launcher gets taken out completely.
One more!
Another one! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! You may have a point there with a grenade launcher, my friend, because that is just one EWG, the booyah in round 2.
Oh, too good. You pick up the grenade launcher, get into that final circle, don't waste your grenades, and you're gonna have the advantage for sure. And you saw even the most dominant AV Radicals could not do much against the grenade launcher. They just ate it up and unfortunately lost out on the booyah. But what they do not lose out on for sure is that #1 spot. Because I don't know exactly how many Pando has on their side in terms of eliminations, but I highly doubt they outdid AV Radicals in that one round. They need 4 points more than them to get that #1 spot, and I don't think Pando EWG hustled that much in this matchup.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's like they did manage to. He also had a grenade launcher at their side, but what Pando did that was really brilliant was he took out that guy first.
Yeah.
He knew that was the biggest threat on the ground. By taking him out first, he ensured that he wouldn't have the same advantage that he had with the grenade launcher. So, wow, I mean, very well played in that split second there for EWG.
And I don't know, but I kind of feel like a fundamental mistake by AV Radicals is giving Wine the grenade launcher. Wine doesn't need the grenade launcher. Wine is a grenade launcher. I mean, he just walks into houses with his double shotgun setup and just busts through the door, and although there are no doors.
True. That's
just
true.
busts through the building, takes out all of his opponents. He doesn't need a grenade launcher, and clearly he took himself out of the equation there. And if anybody knows and has been following this team for a long time, Wine is actually Barba renamed. So this guy has been in the scene for the longest of time. He knows the mechanics of Free Fire through and through. So he, of all people, should have known in a crazy situation like that, he shouldn't have gotten cheeky with the grenade launcher. Taking himself down really unnerved the team because they had to pick him right back up as that circle was closing in. They lost a lot of HP, had no time to recover, and then had to go up against these guys. So that was a loss for them.
Yeah, again, when you got knocked down, especially in the final fight for the final circle,
Yeah.
it's really hard to recover when you lose that man advantage.
Yeah.
And we saw that play out here. Look at that. I mean, look at that one shot. Took, I think, Tinawa one as well as another member of his on Wine one.
Yeah.
Wasn't the one with the grenade launcher, to be fair.
He just didn't pull it out.
Yeah.
He should have pulled it out.
Maybe, yeah, maybe if he did pull it out at that moment, he
Yeah.
could have gotten an advantage there. But EWG, they played this really smartly by using that last play there, earned themselves a booyah.
Yeah.
And let's hope the kill points are going to be enough because I think the AV Radicals may also have a lot of kill points on themselves, to be fair.
They
So-
do.
So we'll see how that turns out when scores have been tabulated.
Yeah, no terrible consequences of losing out that Booyah to Pando EWG. Pando EWG is a great team. But is it a team that AV Radicals would fear out there on the battlefield when it comes to the competition of collecting points over the duration of 4 days? I don't think so. So AV Radicals, I mean, we saw how they bombed out 12th spot, and then they just got into the final circle, almost getting that #1 spot. That's AV Radicals for you, right? 24 points they pick up this time around, 15 from the kills, and imagine if they'd picked up the Booyah as well, they would have outdone the players of GigFam. They don't, they just equalize, but Pando EWG, as we just discussed, they don't dominate in terms of the kills, and they take that 2nd spot, although they did pull away that Booyah.
Yeah, I mean, at least we already put them quite well up into the points there, so that's pretty much like you would say half the job done.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Especially, we'll see how this game will turn out for the rest of the day here for the Eastern Wolves gang. But for now, they could be pretty proud of this performance here. Not quite the amount of damage or headshots that we saw from GeekFam in that round #1, but it's pretty much up there, I would say. But let's see whether or not Eastern Wolves gang will be able to keep this up, because this first Booyah might just be the first of many. We'll have to see.
I want to see, man. I mean, Pando EWG has been a team that I've loved for a long, long time now. But what makes me fall out of love with Pando EWG sometimes is their horrible inconsistency. I mean, this is the team that can get into that final circle, really find some fancy plays to surprise you, and then they're the same team that kind of bombs out a little bit too early in a couple of rounds right after that. I'm talking about 1 win and 2 losses to follow. Not the best of runs for a team, but that's Pando in group stage version. Pando in grand finals version is so different because that's pedal to the metal kind of time, and this is the team that really knows how to get it done when it truly matters. But my biggest problem with this team is, why can't you do it during the group stage as well? Why
Right.
do you need to wait for that final moment to hustle when you could have just done the deed from the very start and make your life so much easier?
I mean, it may just be the kind of players that really requires the pressure of a grand final to
Maybe.
actually bring out the best in themselves.
Or maybe they just need Snapdragon Elite.
Hey,
Maybe.
that's a good idea.
Right? Snapdragon Elite Gaming, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the sponsor for this show. Without them, none of this would be possible. And of course, there's co-sponsors as well, Monster Energy, as well as Kachi Shop, if you ever want some in-game currency.
Yeah, indeed. So shout out to those monsters there, Monster Energy. You can check them out at www.monsterenergy.com. Kachi Shop is over at www.kachishop.com/my.
And, you know, push come and shove, it seems like it's not just going to be a one brand, one team domination out there on the battlefield. We have got our work cut out for us, mainly because we really have to read up on each and every single team, right? All of them want to perform. We've got to touch on each and every single one of the players, looks like it. And this time around, AV Radicals found a way to dominate the lobby, but not really maneuver themselves in towards a Booyah. And I feel like, once again, that was a fundamental mistake of having Wine pick up the grenade launcher, which I don't think was needed. Someone else could have made better use of it. But let's see if things changes in the next matchup. We're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, Group A takes a break. It's going to be Group B versus Group C back at Bermuda.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Running schedule, so. And do we really need that? How's the matches so far? You're looking at Blacklist. Nightmare. Ilustrados. I had so much of hope for them in NCPS and like expand his. You qualify and then it gets to your head.
Welcome
That's crazy, man. Because when you get to the top,
to the place where
harder because
dreams
when
come
everybody's
true.
coming for your ass,
where everything you want can be yours.
A
If
little
and
unfortunate
only
because
if
you're
you're willing to work
so
for
far
'em.
the best position.
You're willing to hurt for 'em. But most of all, you're willing to be first for 'em.
Finals.
Ha.
Instead make it to the play.
Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting?
All
It's
like
hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got
It's so
more
close
drive
and
than
back
Mercedes.
end,
I've
whatever.
never been late.
Don't go
I'm
first.
in the room, it's a weather line. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show 'em my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test. Like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed. So now let me flex. Ha. Yeah, I'm a work through the struggle and hurt. Cause I know my worth. And I gotta be first. Ha. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what it's meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show 'em my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress.
Look, can't
I
you
know
shop
what's
looks like
next.
a knockoff of Photoshop.
I'm who they test.
That's the logo and all.
Like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed. So now let me flex. Ha. I'm a work through the struggle and hurt. Cause I know my worth.
Yep.
Yo.
They don't know what's gotten into me. How'd I turn pain into energy? Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snapdragon Pro Series. He's Mustachio, I'm the Beard. We're the commentators coming here right now for Free Fire as we come into our next couple of groups here. This time around is going to be Group B and C, fighting out yet again in Bermuda and Kalahari. Is the script going to be a little bit different this time around? We're going to be finding out, I guess.
Script's gonna be different. The sponsors are absolutely the same. Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, as well as Kachi Shop brings you all of this crazy action. And so far, it has just been, different teams that go out there and dominate the world of Free Fire. But we're gonna see a little bit of I guess repetition moving forward as some of the teams have found their rhythm, especially Group B, who are running the marathon of 4 back-to-back matches in here. Group C, on the other hand, they just wrapped up their first game, and they are heading into their first game. So they might be a little bit jittery, but not against Group B, who have found their rhythm, we can say.
Yeah, I mean, they will definitely have having the experience of the last 2 matches they already played.
Yeah.
Definitely they'll be fired up somewhat. There'll be a little bit of motivation already and definitely a bit of energy still left over from those couple of games.
Yeah.
So we're certainly going to be able to see them, already fully warmed up and ready in these next few battles. But now facing off against a new mix of squads here does mean that the rhythm somewhat will be a bit different, especially when you consider the drop zones, right? Different
Yeah.
teams have different favorite points, to drop.
Yeah.
And I expect this C may have very different drop points that they would prefer compared to Group A.
Absolutely, man. But let's take a look and see exactly how the overall leaderboard stands as Farang surprisingly dominates the #1 spot, as they didn't secure a booyah for themselves, but what they did manage to do was remain consistent in both Game 1 as well as Game 2.
Yeah, in both placement and kill points. In fact, 18 seems to be the number to meet up here, because the only other team that has the same amount of kills is AV Radicals, and they're all the way down in 4th place because they couldn't keep up with the placement. They've lost out the first map massively, so there's already a lot of points left on the table there. So they only managed to recover in that second round. I'm hoping that maybe in the next time we see AV Radicals in the mix again, hopefully they'll be able to pick things up, but certainly the job is going to be a lot harder from this point on, because with Farah already having such a significant lead there, that's going to be a bit of a tall order, but nevertheless, it's only about, what, 3 points? So maybe if AV Radicals can make that up in just kills alone, that might just be the ticket.
Absolutely. So overall, Group B as well as Group C will play a total of 4 games each. Group D as well as Group A, they play 2 games each. So obviously the overall leaderboard by the time we get to the end of the day is going to be a little bit skewed, but you know, you guys know exactly what to look out for. Group B stays the same, of course, with K9 Esports, Warlords, Paragon, Spartans, RSX, KTP, Bloody Heads, as well as Expand. But now we welcome Group C with a lineup of Blacklist, Quick Reactions, Tactical Index, Hard to Get, K9 Meta, as well as the Ilustrados Juegos.
What a restrictive name right there. Ilustrados Juegos. That's going to be certainly a mouthful for us commentators, but you know, that's our job.
Absolutely,
exactly why we're here. So,
but you don't. I guess you don't have to worry so much, because the last time we spotted Ilustrados, they kind of bombed out, man. So, you know, if the same happens, then I guess we don't need to put ourselves through the torture of saying their long name.
Oh man.
But if, just like Revenge, they wake up, wake up at least for more than 1 game, then maybe we will be tortured.
Well, we'll see. I mean, don't need to put them down that much, to be fair. I mean, it's still an open season here.
I hope, man. I really hope.
Yeah.
Because you know, Ilustrados Juegos, I have to tell you, I've been such a huge fan of not the name, because the name is new, but the team members are old. The team members are legendary in the world of Free Fire. The best player under the roster, McRory, my personal favorite player. There's no grenadier who's better than McRory in the world of Free Fire. At least that's what I thought. And then McRory stopped throwing grenades. And then I died a little bit on the inside. I don't know why. I don't understand McRory. I don't.
Well, I mean, that's certainly surprising. I mean, he was the best, so why not continue on? Maybe he thought he'd try something a little bit new this time around.
Maybe there's some trauma behind the grenade, man. Maybe he broke up. Maybe his ex taught him how to throw grenades. Maybe he doesn't want. I don't know what's up, but he better pick up those grenades again, because I think the team needs him. I think because McRory is an instrumental player, mainly because he's the one that opens up the fight usually for this team. He tosses in a grenade, gets a couple of knocks. He goes in for the follow-up, usually with the finisher. But even if the finisher's not there, the rest of his team swoops on in and gets the job done. That's the kind of team they used to be. It's the same team, but the play style's just really, it hasn't been super impressive in the recent times. But I'm hoping at the Snapdragon Pro Series, things change for this team.
Yeah, and if you feel that change is going to be inevitable, why don't you let us know through your predictions on the Twitch chat. Predictions are already open. Go ahead and vote for your favorite teams, and you can only do that by joining us on the Twitch live stream. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. So nevertheless, now we're going to be coming back to Bermuda once more. Team B, definitely, they've already warmed up a little bit from this match here. So are you thinking that maybe the Team B teams are going to be more dominant here? Or is it going to be the C teams, the newer, more fresher and probably more rested folks that are going to be able to dominate? What do you think, man?
I really don't think it's up to the group. I think it's up to the individual teams. Like, I'm expecting Expand to rise back up to the top. They've bombed out twice already. And, you know, it's just not like them, because they are one of the most dominant teams out of Malaysia. But in Group C, I've got my eyes on 2 teams, Blacklist as well as Hard to Get. These are potential teams that we need to look out for.
Yeah, already some pot shots being brought out. In fact, already a kill done on the one members of K9. the lead just got himself deleted from the man, and that's already had the blacklist now to kill lead at the moment. But it looks like they were going to be looking for more. Ayman Hariz coming from the side there. Did he not see him approach from there? My goodness, that's already a straight up knockdown there onto X-Roy. Onto one of the members there. He's going to completely taken out as well. So now blacklist already with 2 kills in their hands here. They're already off to a great start.
Mr. D is playing again. That basically just... I'm going to make this call. He's probably the oldest player in this lobby right now. It's just what it is. Yeah. Expand, on the other hand, they've lost 2 players already. Blacklist International doing phenomenally well. Meta gets backed up. 12th place, they get kicked out. All courtesy of Blacklist International.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there killing these squads at the moment, and they're not quite done because I think there was a spot H2G across a long way there. So they're also just going to try to hold their position in the center of the circle here, hoping that the next circle is going to land on top of them so they can continue to use this spot right here, which is really strategic because it's right in between Katsuista and Peak here, 2 also very hot spots. In the meantime, the other members of K9, Superman, Necro, and Wusi are also experiencing some shots coming in from H2G. Seems like these guys are just not giving them any rest at all, taking pot shots constantly at whatever things are moving out there in Bermuda.
And that's the main reason why we've got our eyes on both Expand as well as Hard to Get. It's just crazy coincidence that these are the 2 teams that met very first on the battlefield. And you see the firepower from both the sides, right? They both pop off, they both get eliminations, and they both back away. And you know, you don't really see teams backing away in Free Fire a lot unless they're really pro, because it takes a genius to understand that you just can't rush into battle after battle. Sometimes you need to back away. And what is the result of backing away? Both Hard to Get as well as Expand are in full squads again. They've gone in, used their revival system, brought back their team members. But one team, QR, doesn't seem to get that lucky, man. Tactical Index should be able to snuff them out now.
Jesus, like shooting fish in a barrel for Blank, isn't it? And what an awkward situation there for QR. 3 members knocked down on the rooftop. I mean, how did that even happen? It didn't even look like they were in a massive battle at the time. Though I think it was ITX that was actually giving down the pressure, and really QR was able to finish things off. And look at that though, it's ZP New finding Blank as he tries to grapple away, but now he's going to be grappling right into the hands of ZP New as ITX now trying to chase for this kill onto the memory QR. No, it's not going to be long for this world. Glue Wall just keeping probably delaying the inevitable right now as he puts up 2 of them, tries to run away right now, but ITX is still on the chase. Blank right now hiding behind, trying to get a heal as quickly as can, but
can he
find him? Just thrown around there.
No!
Can he get the shot though? It's going to be a long way though, but I think Blank might have just gotten away with it, unless he lands himself right in the middle of enemy territory.
Yeah, that's exactly. Tactical Index! He followed in! Zapnu's right behind! Blank, can you run away? Yeah! He can't! Blank had one of the best CQC guns in the game. The MAC-10 should be able to spray down your opponents, but I guess that was just a panic moment for him because Blank truly had a chance. But now what Blank has done is, in his death, he has executed revenge. He has led the team of Tactical Index straight into IJ, and now IJ, they've got the compound at bullseye, but Tactical Index, they do not wait around to play. They back away.
Yeah, they're going to try to back out of this again, and the good thing is that there's at least a building between them and IJ. So IJ at the moment just going to be holding on to their laurels while they wait and see what IJ is going to be doing. Pablo getting a long jump to get as far away as he can as they circle around the circle itself. Maka also going for that jump, going to be joining up with the rest, with Pablo as well. It looks like they're going to be using this high ground here to actually spot some of the other teams on the lower ground. Speaking on that lower ground here, Paragon's going to be finding another team just around the corner here. Bloody Hits might be thinking about just backing out from that and not really looking for that confrontation at the moment. Still early games, so it's still going to be time for these guys to just go ahead and keep their farm coming up.
Wait, where's Sem9? Why is Sem9 not in the competition? I'm looking at Group D. Sem9's not there. Sem9 didn't join. What in the world? I'm disappointed, man. I wanted to see a little bit of rivalry, extra bit of spice out there on the battlefield. Looks like we're not gonna get it. And the only reason why I thought of Sam9 was because of Orin. I really miss the guy. Orin's one of the best players out there on the battlefield when it comes to the aggression, opening up some of these gunfights. But a little bit of a change in, I guess, brand. The company or the sponsors behind them seems to have thrown them off of their gameplay just a little bit. But hopefully we get to see Sam9 a little bit more in the future. Illustrados, on the other hand, will be able to, I guess, entertain us. McRory, this is my boy, this is my man out there on the battlefield, but he hasn't gotten any eliminations on his side to make me a proud daddy, man. I mean, we've been on many competitions together, not as players. I as a shoutcaster, he as a player. I've seen him grow, and now I'm just seeing them just laze around on the battlefield. I'm waiting for them to wake up.
Yeah, I mean, Blacklist, ITX already have 4 points, and they're already so aggressive from the get-go here. So, I mean, Stratos Iweko is going to have to step it up a bit. Good thing, though, is that they're going to be close to that circle. Unfortunately, Blacklist probably going to be able to gatekeep them coming into that circle here. So they're going to have to be very careful on that approach. In the meantime, Expanse already picked up some vehicles, going to be making their way very quickly towards the circle there. But unfortunately for them, there's not actually much between them and that circle there. So they're very liable to just go ahead and make a beeline straight towards Clock Tower, and it should be right at the edge of the next circle.
K9 outside of the circle at Bullseye, and it looks like Illustrados want to bull rush them straight up outside of the circle. Illustrados, I don't know if or not that's like the best idea in the world, but you'll see what happens, man. Because K9's on the way to fly in, and Illustrados are on the way. Okay, they wanted a launch pad for themselves, so they're not running towards K9. They're just running towards a launch pad so that they can get into the circle a little bit more efficiently. So good on you, Illustrados. At least you're not mad.
Well, the thing is that gatekeeping, the rest being gate-kept right now at Blacklist, who are just right up against the edge of the safe zone here. But unfortunately, there is a bit of a danger zone just up behind them. Now it's just about clearing up, but the Blacklist is just going to be storming the front here, trying to force Legos completely out of there. Unfortunately, Let's Go gets Choss there to take out Ayman Hariz. Things are looking really bad right now for Blacklist at the moment and not really having control over the fight at this point. Now, they do manage to take out Megori. Now they manage to get it on. Let's Go. One more member left.
Mira, what?
Oh, and like that, Mira just is able to hold them back a little bit. So now Diego's going to try to hold up their line here, but Blacklist still surviving for now, trying to get those lift up. Yet Dope, unfortunately, going to have to run out of the way because now the rest of his members gets taken out. Blacklist survives the onslaught.
Who is Mira? Because boy, I am in love. That 3 back-to-back eliminations was just way too hot. And now, Blacklist International, they've gotten a hold of their gameplay. And Illustrados, they had such a great idea. Fly in, McRory open things up with a grenade, and then they just bag everybody up. What they did not take into account was Mira. Mira just went ape on them and grabbed every single elimination. But one final survivor though, Illustrados, still managing to get away, but straight into tactical index as well as K9. He sees the action, backs away, out, and he's running straight towards a revival point here. This could be a point where Illustrados make their way back in.
Well, the thing is, he's sticking around a little bit, going into the buildings just with the northeastern side, but he's just waiting to see how this battle between K9 and Paragon is just going to turn out. And ITX, at the moment, it seems like ITX still has more or less a position to work with here, as K9 has a couple members still out on the blue zone, but Necro is using high ground to his advantage of keeping Pablo and Inel completely suppressed, forcing out their glue walls here, while the rest of his team tries to surround them and flank them from the right. Now Pablo and Ixwell is going to try to fight back here, but Marky goes up in front, tries to get a knockdown. Pablo puts out a grenade launcher. This could be very dangerous here for Superman, as now they're going to be coming around the back here. Glue walls coming out all around. Unfortunately, Superman gets knocked down. Now his teammate's going to be desperate to try to hold his own. He gets knocked down as well. This assault looked like it was going to work out for K9. Now it's completely gone to waste here, as they have a couple of knockdowns. At least one of the members still able to get the knockdown onto one of the members of ITX, but unfortunately, Wuxi, he'll have to run away through the blue zone at the moment, and unfortunately, it's going to be really bad for him because he gets caught up there. But Zipnu, ITX takes out K9 Esports. Oh man, that looked like it could have been K9's game, but ITX, they played it way better than they did.
So very clearly, there are no banned skins in this competition. It's It's just a delight for all of the Sims out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't worry, I'm on your side. IEX sneaking their way in, and it looks like the Illustrados have managed to bring McRory right back into the game. Yadop as well as Fura all alive and kicking. Fiersu drops down Insane, takes him out of the equation. Hard to get, gets caught up in a battle with the players of Bloody Head, and it looks like that was just going to be the only play. The rest of them have backed away. Hard to get, doesn't want any piece of them, and now Bloody Head, they are the ones who are the furthest away from all of the rest of the action.
Yeah, McRory, Yadop is going to be running straight into the expanse as they're already set up in that side there. And okay, you can see him starting to turn tail a little bit. McRory going to be hiding inside the tower at the moment, which is being approached by Blacklist. I'm not too sure if they actually know he's in the area. In the meantime, Batman gets knocked down by an oil barrel of all things there. Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate.
Does he not know the price of oil? Batman, what you doing, man?
Yeah, it's really expensive, and it's even more expensive now that he gets himself taken out completely by the Expand, and now Expand is going to continue to run over this bridge here, and they're going to be going straight towards where Blacklist is at the moment, which is on that high ground near the radio tower, and I don't know where that member of IJ is. It looks like he may have been taken out already by Blacklist while we were watching here, but X-Roy, he's still knocked down at this point as Cobra takes some shot from a distance right now. Oh, he gets knocked down, unfortunately, despite the glue wall coming up at this point. Blacklist now going for the assault onto the rest of Expand. They're trying to use a glue wall to flank around. Noob is just going to hold position inside the shield here, but the shield's going to run out. He's going to be forced to turn tail and run, and then now he's getting a very, very tight spot here because look at that, the glue wall busters are coming out completely. They want to flush him out. It's too fast. Now puts up the glue wall just in time to block that shot, but Mira flanks around the side, goes for the shot, tries to find Too Fast, finds him in his sights there, but no, he can't quite nail him down quite yet. Too Fast, still a little bit too slick, but finally he does bite the dust there, get taken down a little bit, taken down by a notch there actually, as now finally Blacklist, they have one member kind of caught out in a moment, 3 members still around the corner. How are they going to try to get out of this little juncture here?
Yeah, Blacklist International really trying to prove themselves out there on the battlefield. 12 eliminations already, 8 more teams alive and kicking, which means there's still so many more elimination points to pick up before they grab a potential booyah. They are the kill leaders for a good reason, but right behind them, here comes a grenade launcher in the hands of Forbits. Yadop might just be the first one to get taken down before the rest of the players on the side of Blacklist meets them.
I just spotted Let's Go like holding a grenade launcher, going up on the billboard and just camping there while Yadop is outside. He gets knocked out in the play zone. That's a little unfortunate there, and yep, he's going to be completely taken out by that. So Blacklist now free to move towards the safe zone. Hard to get 4 bits. Last member of Hard to Get here. He's just hiding out for the plan, just around where the play zone is, and just waiting for that circle to close in before making his way in. But unfortunately, when he does that, he's going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. Noob spots the rest of Paragon, tries to take some shots there in order to force them out, but they're pretty well dug in. Twix does have a sniper rifle, so does Orient, so they can afford to try to shoot from a distance here, so they're not really interested in moving from their very spot because it's still very close to that circle. Blacklist is going to hold the northern side at the moment while they wait for the next circle to make its appearance.
Forbits not going to get super lucky as Newbie spots him. Rosa, one of the best guns for the long distance, and the Riptide Rhythm rips down one glue wall, yet another erected by Forbits, place yet another 3 glue walls back to back, but how many can he throw on out to remain alive and kicking out there on the battlefield? Newbie focusing on 2 different groups of guys at the same time. The guy is just biting off more than he can chew when he gets no eliminations.
Yeah, unfortunately a little bit too much distance and a lot of foliage in between, making it quite hard to spot, but I think Forbits very much caught in a very awkward spot here because now taking a lot of damage here, and now he's been forced to turn tail and run. Not going to be able to run away there, especially when he got so many members having their sights trained on you. Now Bloody Hound's going to be caught in a bit of crossfire here because RSX is on the left, Paragons is on the right. This is a very, very tough spot for them. They're going to have to fight a war on 2 fronts.
I mean, it would have been super delicious if Forbits could have followed that up with yet another grenade launcher shot, man, because he single-handedly would have been able to punish the players of Blacklist. But of course, it doesn't mean that miracles are going to be that easy to rip away. You really got to put in the hard work, just like what Blacklist is doing. And right now, they are the kill leaders with 13 eliminations on their side. They're moving on in towards this next circle. And it looks like the majority of teams are on the opposite side of this circle, which means Blacklist should be able to get in without much of a problem.
Or they could just try to wait things out, but here's the thing though, that next circle, very much out in the open. I only count like 2 trees, maybe 3, and the single shack in the middle there, so there's not a lot of cover once they make it towards there, so they have to take the fight right here and now. So it's already 2 knockdowns by Mr. D here. Unfortunately, the play zone's already come around here, so it's forced him off the tower now, forcing them to try to get onto the low ground, and it's already opening up ITX to a lot of trouble here as they get it completely wiped off the mat there. My goodness, Tactical Intex, 5th team to get taken out of here. And look at that, Morgana with the grenade launcher already putting it to good work here, taking out one member of RXX, actually getting 2 members as well.
What in the world did Blacklist eat before this match? Because they are on fire! They move on into the next circle. Tactical Intex not here to deal with. Paragon, on the other hand, finds the players on Bloody Head, and all Blacklist needs to do is just chill whilst they beat each other up. Blacklist swoops on in, picks up an easy booyah for themselves. Paragon, now no matter how much they try to focus on them, Bloody Head shoves in grenade after grenade, and from afar, that AWM manages to catch Ganza. Orange drop down. Mira gets 2. Mira steals away 2 kills. That's illegal, Blacklist. 24 points from eliminations, and now they want to eliminate Blackheaders themselves. And Bloody Head, they go down. Morgana cooks up the grenade. AC-80 AWM on the side of Bloody Heads. Can they shut them down? Mr. D, right-hand side flank, but the circle forces him in. Newbie pulls out the double barrel, goes up against the Mag 7, drops both! Drops both! Newbie solo! Can he get the last one? Yes! He can! And Newbie, the king, as Blacklist make the record at the Snapdragon Pro Series.
Yo, what an amazing last battle that was. Blacklist, they rated, and patience really paid off for them, because once Paragon was taken out, only one more team was left in their sights there, and man, they made the full use of that last battle. So well done, Blacklist, taking the 3rd booyah for today.
Who is Mira? I want to see which one of these boys is Mira, because this guy, he needs like a hamper sent to his house today for a job well done. He was on fire, man. Popping guys left, right, center. His double barrel shotgun, the M1887, is crazy spicy in those CQCs, and he just had one heck of a job out there. And just when you thought Mira was going to be the only one that shows up and dominates, here comes Newbie, wanting to prove himself as well. Runs in straight towards Bloody Head. 3 players back to back. A little bit of backup from Ayman, but it doesn't matter, man. It takes guts to rush into your opponents like that. And Newbie, he was fantastic in that final circle.
Yeah, that was very well done for him. You know, it was very much a scrum that he had to do there. You know, running straight up in front of your enemy. I mean, you just hope that he doesn't have like a big gun, like for example, a grenade launcher or a Mag 7. But he played that incredibly well. Didn't manage to dance around them so far. And I think for Blacklist in particular, this has been a really good matchup for them, because there's plenty of kills they managed to rack up. Look at that, 17 by the time they got to this final 3 teams here. So I'm very much guaranteed they're going to be guaranteed to get themselves very high up in the scoreboard later on.
Yeah, I mean, Blacklist International with 1 game alone. Okay, wait. Who was on? Farang is in Group A. Blacklist International with 1 game alone has managed to jump over Farang,
Oh, I mean,
who completed 2 games, 31 points. I want to see the overall leaderboard, because that is how dominant Blacklist has been. In 1 game, they've outdone teams who've played 2 matches so far. And Group B has nothing on them.
And here's the other thing as well. It becomes Battle Royales. When you have one team that's so dominant like that, that means there's less kill points all around for everyone else. And so effectively that suppresses all the scores that everyone else is going to be able to get. So I'm expecting to see Blacklist to jump quite far.
And I really was not expecting Blacklist International to hit that hard, man, because especially because Mr. D was playing, and Mr. D hasn't been. Oh my God!
Wow.
Blacklist almost hit the 40 bomb, my friend. 39. That is an insane number of points to pick up in 1 match. And you'll have to agree, because Farang did mediocre 2 games, and they got 31, 39 with a booyah and 27 slays. Blacklist International, what a debut in the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2.
What a debut indeed. I mean, this is, if you can do already this in the first round, what is it? What are they going to do in the next one there? Granted, it's going to be a slightly different map.
Yeah.
Granted, it may not be as advantageous to a team as aggressive as
best
Blacklist. but it is their best map.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
My goodness. I mean, if they're already this dominant, I think this is going to be a group of death right now. And Blacklist is the killer.
I really hope that, just like what we saw earlier on, it's not more of a one-hit wonder kind of style, right? It doesn't seem to be, because those were a lot of engagements. But, you gotta, call a spade a spade. There's not many Titan teams in Group B as opposed to what you have in Group A. So Blacklist is gonna have a little bit of an easier time going up against the players of Group B. And later on, when we do see them kind of go up against Group D, we're not going to see Blacklist struggle as well. I want to see Group A go up against Group C. That's when we will see Blacklist International put to the real test.
Well, on that note, make sure you guys check it out, because this Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire is going on throughout this week. So we also have another live stream tomorrow. That's where we may see that battle happen here. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in for that. Nevertheless, though, this is an interesting kind of turn of events right now, because with Blacklist dominating this current B and C group here, I mean, this is really liable for them to build up a huge lead by the time we get to tomorrow's matches. So that's going to be a really big problem, I think, for the other teams to try to deal with.
I think it's close to impossible to see them hit the 39er again. Or they could just prove me wrong, because if they do prove me wrong, I tell you, this is history being made right here by Blacklist International at the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2, because no team has hit that hard and been consistent back-to-back that well. But, I guess I don't want them to aim for the stars. I just want Blacklist to give me a mediocre game where they still do get the booyah. Because as long as you can get into that final circle, get that booyah, you should be solid, man. But we just heard there's a interview over on the Masters segment. Let's take a quick look into what they're doing there.
Macam mana boleh mendapat 27 kill?
Sebab kita hebat kot. Sebab dah biasa.
Dia taunting.
Oh, taunting.
Dia taunting.
Okey, kalau Ji salah seterusnya. Saya itu je.
Saya okeylah, macam untuk pasukan Blacklist kan, tiba-tiba baru mula je dah 27 kill kan. So, adakah macam nak cakap macam mana aku nak cakap soalan ni?
Apa kena tanya?
Tak, sebab strategi kita dah tahu dah. Strategi mereka tadi turun dekat 5 hati dah tahu dah. Kan? So, saya tengok tadi newbie main dengan sangat berkeyakinan. So, apakah...
Ramuan
macam mana boleh main dengan sangat berkeyakinan macam tadi? Macam tadi dia rusuh-rusuh dia kan? Masuk macam tu je. Macam tak ada apa-apa. Macam, kenapa sebelum ni tak macam tu?
Itu yang kagum.
Boleh tak? Sebab sebelum ni kita dah kenal newbie dengan Zen ni lama. Okay. Sebelum tak macam ni, tapi kenapa tiba-tiba sekarang hari ni? Kenapa hari ni macam tu permainan dia? Macam tu.
Sebab kita dengan IGL lama.
Siapa IGL lama tu?
Mr. D.
Oh, Mr. D. Itu resepi dia Mr. D lah tadi. Sebelum ni Mr. D tak ada.
Okey, faham.
Okey, faham.
Faham.
So, untuk next game, apa kau punya strategi next game? Adakah nak buat lagi 27 kill?
Kalau ada rezeki lah.
Okey, kita tengok.
Tadi tu pun kita jalan rezeki.
Yelah, betul ramai kat orang tadi. Diorang tak pergi mana pun kan.
Tak, yang belakang tu siapa
Tak kenal.
Tak kenal? Agak ceria, ada penyokong
Ada.
Oh, ada penyokong.
Ni coach.
Coach.
Ni coach orang.
Coach
Oh, coach. Alright.
Okay,
So, kau ada apa nak tanya? Apa nak tanya dua ni? Sebab tak best lah interview orang yang hari-hari menghadap ni. Alright, so good luck je lah. Anda boleh jaga good luck. Tahniah atas game yang pertama
Teruskan
tadi.
27 kill.
Teruskan lagi momentum. Okay, teruskan buat yang terbaik. Right, so jumpa lagi di next round.
Masih.
So the Malaysian Free Fire scene, all these boys, they know each other, right? They are behind big brands, they're behind big teams, and even they are shocked, like, how in the world did Blacklist do so well in that first round? Because there was no fear. There was no sense of fear in Mira. There was sure as hell no sense of fear in Newbie at all. In that final engagement, he was just running down players back to back to back, and you usually don't see such careless movements out there unless you're super confident that you've got good backup. And we did see Mr. D kind of hold that right-hand side flank a lot, but the blue zone was kind of pressuring Mr. D a lot, so he wasn't able to take a lot of pot shots. And therefore, Newbie pretty much got the job done all on his own with Ayman, who was just right behind him. Ayman got a lucky shot. It was Newbie with that final play. But I just want to go back to, can they maintain this consistency?
Yeah, that's a very important thing, because when it comes to battle royales, because you play multiple matches over multiple days,
Yeah.
you need that consistency in order to be able to stay
Yeah.
up on top of the leaderboard. However, like back to the point about Newbie and Mr. D, I wouldn't be surprised Mr. D being the captain was really just giving the information, letting Newbie know that they're open,
Yeah.
just go ahead and rush them, and that's what gave Newbie the confidence that, yeah, just follow that order. And he
Yep.
saw they were open, he went for it, he got the kills done, and that won them the game.
Absolutely, man. Well, let's see if or not Blacklist International can keep up this sort of a fantastic gameplay over at Kalahari, because that is one of their best maps. We're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, it's round number 4.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true. Where everything you want can be yours. If and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them. But most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what it's meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You want to compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me, how'd I turn pain into energy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 Asia Pacific, brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, as well as Kachi Shop. My name's AJ. I'm the mustachio down here with the one and only Victor Cax. And I tell you, man, today has just been one of the best days of Free Fire for me personally. And I've casted quite a number of Free Fire competitions so far. But I have never casted a competition where each and every single round you've got back-to-back winners, and all of those winners seem to be supreme in their own ways, right? And just when we thought we've seen the best, here comes along Blacklist International, hitting 39 points, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, this goes to show how healthy the competition is right now in the Free Fire scene, because when you have these teams constantly showing up each other,
Yeah.
you know, new teams taking booyahs every single time, I mean, this kind of toss-up is really perfect for the competition, because you never know who's going to be the one that's dominating the end of the day. So that's exciting here, ladies and gentlemen. gentlemen. That's seriously what we're looking for as we jump into the blacklist. Oh, I mean, again, one round was all they needed to jump all the way to the top here, ladies and gentlemen. They beat Farhang by a complete 8 points there. This is insane performance from Blacklist.
Yeah, that's just one game, right? And one needs to ask, where's the ceiling here for Blacklist International, right? Because Group C, they don't have 1, they don't have 2. They've got 4 back-to-back games. They're going to be playing all the way until the end of play day today. And if Blacklist can do that in one game, question is, can we see consistency? What will they end up with after 4 matches? Because, my friend, if they can maintain at least half of this performance, by the time we get to the end of the day, they're going to be on the verge of 100 points.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about, actually, now that you mentioned it, because yeah, with that done, like, that's already putting such a high bar for all the other teams and
For themselves as well.
for themselves as well,
Yeah.
to be fair. But again, when you're already that far ahead in terms of points, you just have to you can coast and you can
Yeah.
still end up being somewhere in that top 3 or even just win outright.
The tortoise and the rabbit, man, you can't coast. Not in Free Fire. I mean, it's pure death waiting for you if you do coast through the competition. But it's Blacklist International, and for a team that can hit 27 eliminations in one round, I've got my expectations for them right up here, right? And I'm actually quite shocked. I'm quite shocked to see this sort of a performance from them straight out of the gates. It could be a fluke, or it could just be the birth of something so new, which is just gonna rock up the whole of the Free Fire scene here in Malaysia.
Yeah, I mean, it could even just be a matter of circumstances just coming up very,
Yeah.
very right here for Blacklist, because you did mention, you know, you don't really have like the powerhouse of AB Radicals in this
Yeah.
matchup here. You
And
know,
Expand has been doing badly.
Yeah, they haven't really had the best of starts here today, and Group D itself doesn't really have the same caliber of teams as well. So
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, I think ingredients-wise, this is the perfect time now for Blacklist to just capitalize on this day right now.
Yeah.
Make the maximum points here, and then that's already like a huge advantage it can hold over the teams for the rest of the days.
Yeah, we've been throwing out all of our predictions all throughout the broadcast in here today. Now the question is, what are your predictions? If you're tuning into our broadcast on Twitch, if you are not, hop on into Twitch and do so, because right there you get to vote for the team you think is going to rise up to the top. Let's see if or not your predictions do come through by the end of the day. And if your bet is on Blacklist International, you might join a few of the others who have some of their hope reinvigorated already after that record-setting run by Blacklist.
Yeah, I mean, definitely emphasis on that record-setting one. We never saw a team like run away that far with the lead here, in especially at this level of competition.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you know, things can happen when it comes to lower tiers, but we're talking about Snapdragon Pro Series. This is literally some of the best teams in Southeast Asia. So, well, we'll see how things will turn out as we come on to Kalahari now. We have Group B and C, and we already see ITX getting themselves in a bit of a hot spot here with K9.
Yeah, K9 Meta trying to back away, but Tactical Intax, they've got the advantage. By Sneaks, returns fire. They do manage to drop 1, they drop 2, but Tactical fires right back. The lead gets deleted by Shook. That's just a little bit unfortunate. That's a team-on-team action that was a little unfortunate, because I thought he went in there to save his team member, but communication seems to be a little bit off here.
Yeah, I wonder what was happening in their side there, because it seemed they were all over the place. You got the lead out there in the open, even though he had a high ground, and you got the rest of the team on the bottom there not really doing much except just being cannon fodder. In the meantime, got to remember Warlord somehow finding his way in the middle of this pack here, and unfortunately he's going to get spotted immediately. Well, I mean, it's going to be a Devon. Probably will get revived later on anyway, but still, that's already another kill point in the hands for ITX.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for K9 Meta, because a majority of the damage was done by the Warlords first, and then you had the other team to deal with, Tactical Intex. All 3 teams dropping into Old Hampton. Only one will walk out. Let's see exactly who that is going to be. Hard to get, on the other hand, manages to back away. And it looks like the rest of the teams are slowly trying to find their positions out there on the battlefield. Blacklist International at Bayfront, they are not going to be disturbed at all.
Yeah, the drone actually going to be spotting a member Axel and the rest of Bloodhounds here. Bloody Heads down by the south side. But it seems like most of the teams are kind of spread out a little bit. We got a member hard to get. Oh, Aries, last member of his squad right now, has to survive this and hopefully find a revive point in order to bring back some of his teammates. But does have ITX down on the ground there and up on his high ground. Even though it does give you the height advantage, unfortunately, it's very, very wide open. There's not much cover unless you put up a glue wall or two. And at this stage here, Aries only has a chrono wall to use to his advantage, and the cooldown that's so long that you only want to use it when you absolutely have to. The good news for him though, circle is going to close in around him there, so he can pretty much stay on that edge there and just wait for ITX to move out, as they are already starting to do so, taking the launch pad, getting themselves right onto the refinery there. Looks like they already have the sight set on where they want to camp.
Warlord's Paul catches out Zapdu. All of his team members back him up, and Paul all alone finds Shug, and Shug sprays him down with the back 10. And it looks like Revival is a success, because as Paul gets eliminated, the team doesn't get eliminated. So that's a job well done.
Yeah, at least it gets some information out the way. And I mean, Wardle is just using this kind of spread out formation here to, I guess, really just get a lot of information on the landing zones of these teams here. And I think that might be vital for some of the upcoming Kalahari matches.
Yeah.
And you probably, especially when you use this first round like that, it's always going to be about information gathering.
Yeah.
So definitely they're trying to get that set up. They may lose out a little bit in points though, which is kind of risk they have to take here. But nevertheless, let's see whether or not that plays out. Blacklist in the meantime though, getting caught in a little bit of fire there, because I think they also spotted ITX, also headed for the same objective here. But it seems like Blacklist is going to be the first one to set themselves up on the refinery. But now they're going to have to turn around and see whether or not they can fend off attacks, not only from ITX, even Expanse might be in the mix as well.
Tactical Index, slowly but surely, they manage to find a platform for themselves, and the zip line can take them straight into refinery. Question is, will they find the opening to do so? And now, Blacklist International, the team that everybody's looking out for, to see if or not they can dominate this round as well. 27 kills, no joke. Back that up together with a booyah, 39 points in round number 1. Blacklist International, they set the bar for themselves. And like I said, man, even if they achieve like halfway through, it's good enough.
Exactly. So it's going to be a bit tough. Nevertheless, RSX going to be backing out that spot, seeing that Blacklist is already very well dug in there. Doesn't make sense for them to try to fight on the low ground when Blacklist already is dug in high up in that refinery tower. So now they're just going to keep the distance and wait to see what the next circle is going to force the movements from these other teams. But in the meantime, the other K9 team is going to be meeting with Bloodhounds, who are already set up by the Mammoth rib cage there, and that's putting a bit of a tough spot there for K9, because that's just outside of the circle. But Bloody Heads will be able to gatekeep them from that spot, so that's forcing K9 to just circle around that safe zone there and try to find another way in.
Smart move by K9. You don't want to be running straight into Bloody Head. They spot those players out. They take the longer journey, but that is the safer path. Everybody survives, and K9 Esports should be able to find the next compound undisturbed. QR, on the other hand, they fly right in front of Paragon, teasing them. Do you want to take some open shots, they ask. Paragon might be able to respond, but it is QR that engages first. And Paragon, they send 2 players up into the watchtower. One of the worst places you can get caught out in.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be open season here for QR, because it's out in the open there without any glue walls. There's no cover except for that tower, and that tower doesn't even give much cover to begin with. And Twix tries his very best to fight back here, but with 3-4 members of QR constantly hounding him here, he's definitely stuck on his tower here. Nowhere for him to move out the way. Now, he still will be able to stay in cover somewhat, but sooner or later, he's going to have to move out there, especially if this next circle spawn doesn't favor him. Now we'll see. Oh, he is lucky that the circle just lands on top of him, because now he can afford himself to dig in there. Now QR though, they're just gonna jump straight into the middle there, and they might try to surround him on both ends. As Twix gets himself knocked down, it looks like, and don't think he'll be long for this world, so RSX may lose that member, and yes, Twix gets taken out of the map there. RSX down to 3.
Tactical Index makes their way in, closer towards Refinery, but Blacklist has already taken over this compound. The best spot that you want to hold on to is Refinery. Look at that elevation that compound gives you. You've got that bird's eye view over everybody else on the map, and when you've got the AWM on your side, one of the best snipes in the game, you're going to be able to dominate from that sort of an elevation.
So yeah, exactly why teams always vie for that spot in Refinery, isn't it? So everyone else now is going to have to fight under the shadow of Blacklist's watchful eyes here. As we see Ares just attempting a very brave move around the blue zone here to see if he can flank around and hopefully not encounter any of the other teams as he tries to find a way to revive the rest of his teammates. Meantime, Marky spots, okay, no, that doesn't quite spot, but is taking the high ground here against RSX, who are dug in very neatly inside this house, not requiring themselves to budge a little bit. They do know that an option for them to escape, should they need to, will be that as a zip line, but it's still going to be a long way for them to make it up to there, and that will land them straight into Mammoth. Now, we'll see how things will turn out because the next circle is going to be coming in soon. Our RX is going to be forced to get out of the way here, or can they afford to hold station?
It's going to be a tough spot that RSX is caught in here because ahead, you've got Bloody Head, who've got that high ground. And towards your right, you've got a little bit of a challenge as well. You can't back away, you've got another team approaching you. So RSX is pretty much toast unless some hand of God helps them out to pull the biggest distraction in the world that'll give them the opening to move out of that compound because it's just really not the best spot. The saving grace is they are in the circle. Circle's quite big. Third circle coming up a little bit in a few seconds as the previous one just hunkers in, closes in on all of them. QR flying on out towards the opposite side of the circle, towards Foundation. They don't need a revive here. So I'm thinking this is the buy station play coming through from QR. They just want extra shields on their side.
Or maybe just gatekeep anyone who tries to go for the revive station. Either way, it's a very sound strategy from their end because Foundation is completely unguarded. There's no one around them there to cause them trouble, so they're very liable to just hold there and wait for that next circle. In the meantime, Invoker, yeah, he's one of those guys who's going to need to find a revive station. So if he unfortunately lands himself Foundation, that's pretty much the end of Warlords right there and then. Bloody Heads, in the meantime, so far they've already done their job here, gatekeeping Mammoth. Now they already have to start thinking about moving into the center because the circle is going to be closing soon. Another 30 seconds to go right now. And, Warlords, yeah, like I said, he unfortunately ran into Bloody Heads here because there was a revive station just close by to Mammoth and unfortunately just land into the sights there.
He rode straight into the eyes of death. Bloody Head from up top. I mean, high ground, easy shot. They're not going to be phased by that at all. They're just waiting to see exactly where this next circle is going to drag them to. It doesn't move away. So, it's going to be, they hold on to the high ground. They get to gatekeep just a little bit. But the question is, and this is the place where a lot of people get kind of caught out, right? They feel like, okay, I don't need to move this circle, but then the next circle kind of drags them all the way across the battlefield, and that's where problems start. So the biggest question is going to be if Bloody Heads chooses to stay at the edge of the circle now or moves towards RSX, because that would be the better spot.
Oh, Batman unfortunately falling at the hands of one of the members of Blacklist there. They're a very awkward spot for him to land actually because there's not much cover there and he tried to crawl away not realizing that Akko literally had him in his sights there. But the K9 going to be in trouble a little bit. Necro gets himself knocked down. Now the QR is going to try to force a fight here as Blank tries to find a good angle against Marty, but unfortunately Blue Wall gets in between his way. But the thing is that his sniper just basically breaks that down, allows Marky to get knocked down. Now they're going to be throwing in bombs now to finish off the rest of K9 as they close in here, but it looks like that Blacklist getting into the mix as well. They're jumping into this fight, seeing that they're a little bit weak here. They're going to try to third party this, and is this going to work out? In the meantime, Gadot takes his opportunity to take a shot at Twigs and actually knocks him down for a little bit. In the meantime, QR are picking up the kills though. Blacklist has already established themselves in this battlefield. QR now just peeling away and actually trying to dodge out of this fight here, allowing Blacklist to take control over this warehouse.
Blacklist has the circle. They can gatekeep QR. So it's QR to ask these big questions, and they just don't have the better side of this compound. Now that buy station's gonna help him out just a little bit here because he's down in armor. Mira steps up in front, has the Groza in hand, which means QR blank, he needs to back away. AWM can bust through all of those glue walls. You see that bullet penetration from this sniper, just absolutely solid. Don't stand up, newbie. Stands up at blank. The response time is just a little bit too slow. Iman Harris can now send those responses back, but blank catches his head.
Wow, nice shot there for Blank.
Oh!
He gets it not knocked down as well into Mr. T. This is looking very, very bad for Blacklist. They jumped into this fight. Now they're paying the price as a rest. Jumping in there and tactical index. In the meantime, gets himself knocked out and taken out. But Blacklist very much in trouble here as the rest of QR are going to be closing in on their Mira. Last man standing here for his squad. Uses a blue wall, tries to hold his own, but the flag comes around. Mira now caught him in a hard place. He does get one knockdown, but that's because Shanks still is able to take him down.
Yeah, Ayman Harris took himself out with the grenade launcher, and that's one of the weak points of the grenade launcher. You gotta just really be careful. You can't use it in CQCs. You gotta make sure the distance between yourself as well as the opponent is enough before you whip it out. But now, Ayman Harris, grenade launcher, one more toss, but the perfect glue wall pulled out to make sure Shanks still stays alive. Paragon taken out in the 8th spot. Shanks running away, trying to play the game of survival, but it's just a matter of time now because he's running out of options here. And Blacklist International, they've got the circle, so goodbye QR.
Yeah, there's no way he's getting out of that. I mean, look at that. I mean, he's trying his very best to stay out of fire there, but it's only going to matter of time. Blue wall, bomb almost catching him there. Fortunately enough, it just misses him by just that much. Now, unfortunately, he's going to have to jump out of the way. Oh, and unfortunately, the blue walls have broken down.
No
He's
more blue wall.
exposed here right now. He's going to have to make a break for it, but look at that newbie. He's just going to try to cut him out. Unfortunately, I think he just got himself taken out inside the blue zone. So.
Yeah. Expand stole that kill away, and Blacklist is going to be quite annoyed by that. But now Blacklist has the advantage. They've got the high ground using this platform for that bit of elevation. Blacklist, they split up into 2 different teams. A 1-to-3 split coming through here for the players of Blacklist. I don't know if this is intentional. Now, one has managed to get close, and it is Mira. Look at the guts on Mira. I tell you, there's just something different about Blacklist International this time round. They're running in callously. They're getting a lot of kills. But, you know, that overconfidence is going to cost you.
Oh, I just have costed Ayman his life there. The thing is that Blacklist at one point were down to like 2 men. He was still able to get the revives through, so that allowed them a bit more strength in this fight. But then now things are getting a little bit more hectic now as Willie Echoes gets himself taken down, unfortunately, as RSX stormed the building they were holding up inside. Now Expanse is going to be able to spot them out, keeps them suppressed somewhat, but the next circle actually favors Expanse a lot more. They have 2 members already in. We see Noob actually trying to flank around, but I think RSX also spots him as well, so they're actually putting some shots there, forcing him to hunker down a little bit. But Cobra moves in on the newbie. Newbie now forced to try to fight. He puts up a shield, trying to stay alive. He gets a knockdown just in time, unfortunately. Shots from a distance there from RSX takes him down, and that will be the end of Blacklist for now. 5 teams still remaining.
Cobra's back up on his feet. I mean, it's so rad to see Cobra take that CQC and lose as well, man. Newbie's playing this on a whole other level today, but Expand, they want to rise back up to the top. Earlier on, you asked me who to look out for. Blacklist as well as Expand. Blacklist took 1. Maybe now is the time for Expand. Headshot, Fierce goes down, and now fearsome attacks coming through back to back from the players of Expand. One backs away, tries to pull the right-hand side flank, but Siasi gets caught out. A little bit of a distraction here for Expand as they start focusing on RSX, and they don't focus on Bloody Head. That's a severe mistake because here comes Bloody Head with an opportunity to shut down the players of Expand.
Oh, that grenade was so close to taking out one of the members of Expand, but then now it's too easy. They seriously have the high ground here. This is putting Bloody Heads in a very tough spot. RSX is trying their very best to try to knock the Axel out, but Axel takes out gets a knockdown as well. Now this is putting the RSX in an even worse spot here as they now are forced to just leave him behind. Tries to get around the other side here. Glue Wall Buster also brought out here to try to fight as X-Roy attempts to fight against Bloody Head. He gets a headshot there too fast with a double grenade. Nails them, the booyah! Right there and then. Congratulations, Expand!
16 eliminations. They pick up the Boya as well. They have not managed to outdo Blacklist International, but this is good enough in terms of a mini comeback from Expand, because they bombed out one too many times already. So this is the decent play, you know, the whole of the Expand fan base has been waiting for.
Shout out to Too Fast, double grenade there. That was clutch right there towards the end, and that nailed Expand win. But I also have to say that, you know, their positioning was perfect in that last circle, because not only were they up on the rocks, that high ground, ensured that they had full view of vision when that final fight came along. So yeah, it was a perfect setup, and finally Expand putting themselves up on the map.
Expand was the only team that did not find the grace of the circle, because we saw RSX, they got caught in between a lot of teams, but the circle kept hunting them down. We saw Bloody Head, the circle kept following Bloody Head. Expand was one of the teams in that final circle that the circle did not favor, but Expand made those right decisions to position themselves in the best spots. You know, reading the circle is one of the things that it's just so difficult to do, right? Because it's just the gods of RNG tickling all of the players with where he sends the circle next. But Expand had a good read on it throughout the whole match, which was the lifesaver for this team.
So that's the thing, especially when you have randomness like that, the only way you can guarantee yourself to have a good spot is just kind of like to play the probability game.
Yeah,
so
correct.
again, Expand just played it completely right by prioritizing that, you know, the inside this area of this circle right now, now it's outside Refinery. The only high ground was on this rocks here.
Yeah.
So that's why they were taking two squads. You see, they will have one squad on the left-hand side, one squad on the right-hand side, and that way they have a crossfire that allowed them to assault the teams that were trying to approach them, and that allowed them to just dominate that final circle.
And RSX, I mean, it was one of the worst plays, one of the worst strategies I've seen in the final circle, and I'll tell you exactly why, right? Because RSX saw that there was already a team on top of the hill. RSX also saw there was a team trying to get up the hill. And instead of helping the team shoot the team that is already having the biggest advantage in the lobby, they just tried to shoot the fishes who were trying to climb the hill, i.e. Bloody Heads. And that was the worst mistake that RSX did. Because then Bloody Head was like, if I don't take RSX out of the equation, I'm not going to get up this hill. So they turn around, they start focusing their shots. Expand was like, oh, there's another team there. Let's shoot them out too. It's decision making, man. You really got to focus your shots on the right place. And at that point, a lot of the players on the side of Expand were exposed. RSX could have changed the pace of the matchup and leave themselves in the final two battle, but it just wasn't that. But what is the situation here is they still managed to pick up quite a number of decent points for themselves.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, that's already 14 points for RSX. Bloody Heads managed to put it up there at 13 as well. Expand with the bulk, the majority at 28. Blacklist International only managed to net 12 in total. 6 placement points, 6 kill points. Not quite the performance we were expecting, but at least with the first the performance they had in Bermuda, that should still be enough to keep them up on top when it comes to the overall.
Yeah, I think Blacklist International got caught off guard when they were asked those questions in the interview, and they were like, how are you performing so well? They were like, I don't know, we're just that good. Nobody's that good. Expand this time around, they hit right back. They don't break no record, they don't set no record. It's quite difficult to break a 39er record, because that's one of the most number of points we have seen up on the leaderboard usually, and Blacklist International this time holds on to it.
And one really interesting thing when looking at the damage and headshot numbers there is that Blacklist did twice the amount of headshots, but only 1,000 more damage comparatively. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and you know, it really depends on whether or not you're the team that is constantly pummeling teams down with all of your bullets, or you're being super efficient with your shots. You just want to secure kills, because in a game like Free Fire, knocks mean nothing.
Right.
The ones that get the final shot in means everything. And if your opponents knock someone down, you can easily steal all of those elimination points away as long as you sneak your final bullet in. And it's just that kind of efficient teams that I really like out there. Low damage, high on the kills. Headshots, that's just a little bit of a flex on how good my aim is.
Well, I mean, with that, efficiency is basically bang for buck, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a literal bang for buck, isn't it? Man, nevertheless, there was already 4 matches done and dusted, so I think that we can say a little bit of a goodbye right now to Group B, because up next will be Group C and D that will be up into the fight. So that's going to be something interesting to watch out for. Let's go ahead and check out an interview right now, because our BM casters will be going ahead and interviewing the Expand on the screen right now. So let's check it out.
Dah game last tu baru dapat earphone baru.
Oh, sebabkan
On the spot.
earphone saja
Earphone.
Sebabkan earphone saja menyebabkan 3 game mereka terganggu lah. Sebab mungkin communication lah.
Ya,
Communication
betul.
lah. Okay, so soalan lagi? Soalan yang kedua?
Soalan yang kedua. Adakah game ada lagi orang ni?
Dah habis dah?
Dah habis dah.
Lepas
Adakah
ni,
esok menggunakan teknik yang sama ataupun tidak?
Esok
Ha.
teknik macam mana tu?
Jadi yang sama, kecundang awal.
Tak ada. Apa benda lah.
Tak adalah maksudnya.
Teknik kecundang awal.
Tak adalah maksudnya kita maksudnya improvement untuk map yang akan datang lah. Maksudnya Purgatory dan juga Alpine.
Esok mungkin diorang akan tukar rotasi lah. Tukar rotasi dan gameplay.
Okey Haji, last sekali.
Last sekali So sebab kita tahu Expand akan pergi ke World Series kan. So tadi 3 game pertama tu dah buat kita orang takut sebenarnya. Sebab kita orang harapkan yang terbaik sebenarnya buat pasukan Expand untuk alright, orang kata berikan serta terbaik. So untuk hari-hari yang seterusnya, sebab kita ada 3 hari lagi untuk ESL kan. So adakah 3 hari ni adalah training yang baik buat korang untuk bersedia untuk kejohanan yang lebih besar lepas ni?
Soalan ke cadangan tu?
Soalan lah. tak ada soalan. Tak nak cakap. Adakah ESL tournament Snapdragon Pro Series ni akan menjadikan orang kata apa platform yang baik untuk orang training untuk bersedia dengan tournament yang lebih besar lepas ni.
Ya, betul. ESL sebab diorang apa nak cakap? ESL platform yang bagus lah untuk kita orang training untuk favorite activity.
So ada dekat dalam ESL ni ada tak korang akan tukar dari segi karakter, skill ke ataupun meta permainan ke, macam pakai 3 orang semua squad pakai sniper ke, ada tak benda-benda pelik yang korang akan cuba untuk korang terapkan dekat dalam ESL Snapdragon Pro Series ni?
Dalam ESL ni kita orang akan pakai try karakter 124 lah. Selama ni kita tak pakai karakter tu 124.
So itu je lah yang korang akan cuba lakukan lah So apa pun good luck lah. Maksudnya tak ada apa dah nak tanya. Cuma sebab kita nak tanya tadi je lah, kenapa 3 game tu agak tak
sedap lah.
Tak perform lah.
Tak perform lah.
So rupanya sebab earphone je
Ya, betul.
So maksudnya
boleh
dengan
ambil.
sekecil perkara pun boleh menyebabkan pasukan itu tidak perform. So penonton ingat earphone penting.
Sangat penting.
So itu je lah untuk buat expand. Good luck untuk hari-hari yang seterusnya. Esok ada lagi kan, hari ni dah habis kan. Okay, so good luck buat yang terbaik. Alright, so see you guys.
Now that makes a lot of sense. The guys had a little bit of a communication issue, hence why they bombed out the first 2 games, which makes a lot of sense because that just wasn't the usual expand style.
Exactly. I mean, when you don't have communication, how do you coordinate your attacks? How do you coordinate your rest of your teammates?
How do you hear the footsteps?
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, that's seriously a bit of an oversight for the team, to be fair, but it does go a long way to explain why they're a little bit slow at the start here for today. But good thing for them, they managed to have a good finish here at the end, so at least they're putting themselves up on the board now. Hopefully tomorrow they will remember to bring their headsets and actually communicate well during the match. So nevertheless, there's going to be the next few matches here is going to be between groups C and D. Want to give a shout out to our sponsors here, which is Snapdragon Elite Gaming for when winning matters, and winning mattered a lot here for Expand because now that puts them up into the top right, somewhere near the top of the leaderboards. We also like to shout out our second sponsor, which is Monster Energy. Unleash the beast with them over on their website, www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. And last but not least, the new sponsor coming in this season for Snapdragon Pro Series is Kachi Shop. Go ahead and find out the great deals and go ahead and top up for your favorite games on their online portal there. Check them out at www.kachishop.com/my.
You know, 4 games, 4 different winners. That's what I like in a competition. You know, you're not just gonna get the same old. You're not just gonna have, you know, this exact same brand or exact same team dominating each and every single game. That's boring, right? We are gonna have this competition shaken up. The question is, does Group D have anybody that can sneak away a booyah for themselves? We'll find out right after a quick short break when we come right back with round number 5.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
dime on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, now I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep it 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. I don't got the time, put me in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snapdragon Pro Series. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is AJ the Mustachio. We're going to be bringing you guys 2 more matches here today. We say goodbye to Group B now and say hello to Group D, as it's now C and D's turn to fight it out in Bermuda and Kalahari. So, what are your thoughts tonight now? Because Group D, completely new set of teams. Group C, we've already seen what they're capable of so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the grouping was random, but if it was random, whoever who was doing the grouping should have reshuffled the grouping, because you've just got a stacked Group A, and then everybody else just is spread out between Group B, C, and D. So this is gonna make it very easy for some of the better teams to dominate the leaderboard, right? Because you're looking at the potential of Blacklist International once again popping off. Now, they didn't do great in that second matchup, but they did decently well. But now the question is, who gets to stand in their way? I'm not saying that Group D doesn't have any titans whatsoever. You've got quite a number of group teams in there. I mean, to name a few, you've got Freedom Rumble as well as NC that did put up a good fight in the final few days of the league stage at the MCPS Major Season 4, but they couldn't make it to the Grand Finals for good reasons, right? They just didn't hustle early enough. So hopefully that's a little bit of a difference. But Blacklist still maintains their #1 spot with 51 points. Yes, Expand is behind them. Yes, Bloody Heads is there. Yes, Farang is there. But guess what? All of these teams don't play anymore in the day.
This is why. So now it's going to be up to Blacklist to see if they can maintain maintain a really strong lead here, or at least the consistency that we're looking for from them already at this stage now. But you know, with 51 points in hand, that's already what, about 6 + 1, that's 7 points ahead of Expand. Not quite a significant lead, but then again, with Expand no longer playing anymore, it's now Blacklist's chance to just build. Yeah, 2 games. 2 games for them to just gain a lot more points here. So for Expand though, I mean, good thing they managed to get the booyah in that last round there, because otherwise we wouldn't be seeing them in that top 5 for sure. So now that they've already put themselves back up there, I mean, they're going to have to re-examine why exactly they decided to compete here without any communication, because that seriously was putting a huge handicap in their early game performances.
Yeah, I mean, even though obviously they didn't make a forced error in terms of the communication. It's just that they had a technical issue. But when you're getting ready for a competition of this level, you gotta get ready a little bit early, right? You can't get there final second and then realize, oh, wait a minute, my headphones aren't working. Now we gotta figure it out, right? Yeah. So it's a little unfortunate. Obviously, you know, the team wouldn't be happy, but they have to make up for all of those mistakes tomorrow. But looking at Group D, as we know the players of Group C, we've got No Escape RV, Team Juke, ORV X-Men, Freedom Rumble, NC, as well as ORV Tyrants. Now, the best team from Group D, I have to say from experience, has to be Freedom Rumble in terms of their play style. But none of the teams in Group D have shown us consistency in the past. Hopefully, that's something different in here in this competition. And if you want to look at the teams that we're looking out for, Freedom Rumble as well as NC. NC, once again, they didn't even make it into the finals of the MCPS Major Season 4, but there was so much of fire on the final day of the qualifiers from the group stage. And, you know, if only they'd put in that effort a little bit earlier. Yeah, so this is a fresh start.
Yeah, I mean, at that stage was too little too late, and
Yeah.
this will definitely be a good start for them if they want to try to live up to that potential. So, like I said, I think D does have one advantage in that there's not much expectations, I would suppose, from the other groups there. So that actually could work out for the advantage, because if they actually took the time since between NCP and now to actually improve their game, to actually make themselves more viable for competition, that this could be a proving ground for them to show that all the effort actually has paid off.
I think it has paid off mainly because NC was acquired halfway through the competition at MCPS Major Season 4. They used to be known as Freedom Cheese, and now they're known as NC. The moment they got acquired, their performance shot right up. I don't know what kind of boost juice they were fed. Maybe it was a couple of cans of Monster Energy. I don't know, we gotta check. But they really played like champs in the final few days of the league stage. But it's just that the effort was being put in way too late. But speaking of way too late, today is the very first day, the very first match at the Snapdragon Pro Series at this level, right? So it's a fresh new slate. Let's see if NC can get something done out there on the battlefield, because they desperately need it for themselves. But at the same time, it's the best opportunity, because on the fact that you don't have a lot of Titans in this next matchup for the next 2 games, it means it's pretty much a free-for-all. They all have to find a way to gang up on Blacklist International though, or else it's just gonna be like shooting fish in a barrel.
I mean, yeah, I was thinking back about that last fight. Remember, RSX and Expand being on the high ground there. You know, you have to remember the adage: "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." Sometimes you have to make these temporary alliances, especially when the situation calls for it. And then, you know, after you dealt with the bigger problem, then you deal with the other problem, which is your former friends.
I know, right? But of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without further ado, let's jump into game number 5 at Bermuda. This is between Group C as well as Group D. Group D only has 2 games in here. This is match number 3 for Group C, and Blacklist International leading the fray in that number 1 spot. Nobody else in Group C anywhere close to them.
Oh, and already NC getting themselves in a bit of a tight spot here. ITX trying their best to try to keep things alive here. Well, the rest of ORV just really peeling away right now. QR is around the corner though, so they could potentially try to overrun this area here. ITX not quite safe in their laurels here. They're going to have to try to move out of the way here as soon as they're done with their looting inside Bullseye. So already right out of the bat, look at that. Huego's also getting the kills done onto ORV because they just literally ran themselves right into the gun sites there, and that is a little bit unfortunate, and might be unfortunate as well for Blacklist because they already lost 1 member. Now they're going to be running into a house here. They spot Presco, tries to get the knockdown, does get the knockdown just in time before he hides behind the blue wall. Now New catches his teammate just on the outside as well. Good coordination. Still though, they managed to get another member there. Mr. D getting caught out on the side. McCoy shooting from the hillside. It's proving to be a bit of a challenge here for Blacklist because now they're very, very low in health. A potential shot there could punch and knock down either Mr. D or Mira. Newbie is going to be able to get some heals done while he's behind a pole, but now it's a bit of a tough situation here. But I think what's fortunate for them is that Meta, they're going to try to run away and unfortunately gets caught out as they were attempting to peel away.
And Blacklist does have that revival platform there. So close yet so far in terms of getting rid of the dominators of this lobby potentially. Now Blacklist just a couple of steps away from bringing Ayman Haris right back in. The best sniper that I've seen on the Blacklist side. And that's a little bit of a surprise because Mr. D has been their top sniper all this while.
Yeah, and so far they need to try to keep him alive though. In the meantime, ITS managed to unalive one of the members of Wego. McDo is actually down on the ground right now and is going to be taken out. Now another member of the IJ is around the corner. McRory gets caught out by Pablo. So that's 2 members down and dusted here by ITX.
You see what I mean about these boys? Ilustrados, Huegos. I mean, it's a big name, it's a fancy name, but I just don't see their gameplays anymore, man. I mean, every time they get into a gunfight, I mean, it was just that one fight where McRory opened up with the grenade, but even that gunfight, they kind of lost.
And that's a hard thing, you know, about being on that top. You can't really stay there too long if you don't step up your game, and that's what we're seeing with IJ right now. One's on top of the world. Now they're just literally struggling to try to even fight against the B-tier teams here. So nevertheless, QR facing a lot of pressure actually from ITX. 2 of the members on the top actually got knocked up. In the meantime, Shook! That's very unfortunate there. That's going to be a kill, and fortunately Nell is actually quite close to revive point, so he brings Shook back into into the game though. In the meantime, I think ORV just got themselves eliminated, the first elimination for this map right now. As ITX continues to fight with QR, Hyper hiding behind the shield, Kazu swinging around side, and Yanel gets taken down for the second time here and taken out completely.
Yeah, Kazu, smart flank from the right. And Nel didn't see that coming. Unfortunate for him. But Tactical Intex, they have the rest of their players quite far away. Or I have to say the rest of their player. Only Pablo, who's very close to the revival platform at Shipyard, but blank. He flies just a short distance away. Nowhere near close to Pablo. Which means Tactical Intex still has an opportunity to bring the rest of the team members right back in here. Looking at the lineup of Freedom Rumble, doesn't seem to be the old lineup. So, no, I'm going to take Freedom Rumble right out of the list of teams to look out for.
Oh, yeah, a completely new team means that it's going to be very... you can't really compare them with the old lineup, isn't it? So, let's see.
The old team was radical, man. I mean, Freedom Rumble, they were the freest team out there on the battlefield. They rush into gunfights. They used to create havoc out there on the battlefield. But once again, one of the worst traits about Freedom Rumble was the fact that they were never consistent. They either hit hard and they went up and they got the booyah, or they hit hard, they bomb out and they just get the 12th spot. That's the kind of style they play.
Yeah, going big or going home doesn't quite work out in a game like Free Fire here. Battle Royales always prides on consistency. It's not like a sprint, it's literally a marathon when it comes to these kind of competitions. And certainly it's going to be a marathon effort here from Yadope in order to bring the rest of his team back into play here, because he's the only guy on the map and the only guy for his team out on the map right now. And he's going to have a lot of trouble trying to bring things back to the fold here for IJ. In the meantime, ITX certainly looking very, very healthy. Hard to get at the moment. Getting themselves in a nice little pickle here, because it's 2 members of Blacklist on the north, 2 more members on the southwest. Potential for a pincer movement here, but they are inside the building. Now they're going to be up in the 2nd floor. Actually, Blacklist decides to attack now. They could potentially contain H2G, but I think they're just waiting right now to see what's going to happen next, because Batman going to get caught now. So it looks like the first shots have been fired. Hard to get, knows they're being hunted right now, and it's going to be a question of whether or not they can hold off this attack.
Hard to get. They have fallen from grace. Batman used to be one of the most deadliest snipers out there on the battlefield. If he is still a deadly sniper, Blacklist would stand no chance on this approach. But it looks like hard to get. They are backing away from that potential early engagement that they could have started. And now they allow Blacklist to cut the distance and move into their compound. Mira flanking in alongside Newbie from the right. AKO's Mr. D on the left-hand side. He's got backup on him as well. Hard to get. Moment after moment, they're losing all of the distance, and they have to take a CQC against the players of Blacklist.
That's the thing, they're completely surrounded. I mean, tactically speaking, Blacklist has the advantage here. The question is whether or not they can get that first knockdown, because Hard to Get does have some good weaponry on the side and a healing gun. So even if they try to go for that flank, if they can nail their shots with the healing gun, they can potentially keep the flanker alive long enough to make an opening here and allow Hard to Get to be able to peel out of this. Unfortunately, though, they're still going to be caught out while we see ITX getting in a little bit of a jumble here with Juke. As Juke around the outside here, Nell is going to try to use a glue wall in order to try to flank around. Backs up to to join up with the rest of his team as Juke is fighting around the outside of this compound here. Shook is going to be moving up. I think he might want to watch out on the left-hand side though, because Doxy is very, very close by, and just one shot from that distance is certainly going to be lethal for Shook. And Doxy does have a spot swell, so that's a very, very good weapon for this sort of engagement here. Shook, gets spotted there by Doxy. I don't think it's going to get engaging that, so Doxy comes out a little bit too late there to actually take the shot, so he will be able to get out of the way. Imanariz in the meantime, though, is going to be moving in on the Hard to Get. They're trying to force the issue here, finding the rest of Hard to Get, using a glue wall to try to block them in the corner while they try to hunt down the rest of them. Finds around on the outside there. The shotgun does land, though, and does pick Insane all the way down. Now they're going to try to fight with the rest of Hard to Get. Unfortunately, Batman is still up and alive. Still was able to get a knockdown into Mira and Imanariz. Now Mr. D is going to scramble to try to see if he can fight the other member Hard to Get, because New is able to hold his ground there in the meantime. Does take out 2 members of Hard to Get, kills them off to take the triple kill, and I think that might have put a huge dent into Hard to Get right now, because they're definitely outnumbered by Blacklist.
This is a little bit of a shocker. Blacklist International, the scaling of power, how they've managed to go from pretty much nothing to everything right now in all of their gunfights is super impressive. This is one of the teams that have improved so much from the last competition. Oh my lord!
Newbie from the top of the wall finds a gap in the glue wall to take one down. Now only one more member hard to get to knock down, and that will be it. And he's up on the upstairs. Oh, he's using a shotgun too. Instead, gets two knockdown. Oh, couldn't quite hold it on as Mr. T puts the final shot in, revives both Newbie and Ayman Hariz, and Blacklist back up to full strength.
And as anticipated, Blacklist International is able to really control this lobby so easily. None of the other teams really putting up much of a fight that Blacklist International can't deal with just yet. Freedom Rumble spots out ORV.
Nice
from
shot.
afar. Jump as the AWM. The damage is there on the gun, but the aim's just not as perfect as he would want it to be. And ORV runs away out in the open. Freedom Rumble. This is just like, shooting fish out in the open. They came out onto land and they're flapping around.
Yeah, the thing is, it does dip down a little bit, so I think they're hoping that the angle is going to be enough to keep them under cover. But Godruz is going to be moving the other side. They're trying to approach the edge of the circle right now. Yadope trying to pick up the McLaren inside the blue zone, but that seems to be very, very stuck. That McLaren is not going anywhere there, unfortunately. So he's very much in trouble there because I think he's quite far out inside inside the blue zone. In the meantime, ORV still having full strength at the moment. Now it's encountered Freedom Rumble here, but the circle actually completely cuts them in half there. So that's actually forcing Freedom Rumble to move in, and ORV actually has the circle land on top of them. So now they can just basically gatekeep FRU, who right now are trying to scramble their way up the hill right now to get some high ground and get away from Voidface. Voidface trying to get the shots, but not really landing much until he finds Jump 9. Jump 9 is still stuck in the building right now, and it's clear there's no cover actually between there and the rest of the squad. Look at the bomb just dropping onto FRU. Two people already knocked down. Maybe a third might be in trouble again. And with the glue wall buster already put up, the glue walls would not hold on for long, and Twist now forces the issue by jumping straight in front of Shami. He's trying to kick him down, gets himself knocked down instead. While hold this time, Voidface just constantly putting in the shots, putting in the pressure, trying to eliminate them. I think they just got themselves eliminated. Now only one member left for FRU.
Yeah, no escape now. Attacking from the back, ORV managed to get a jump on Freedom Rumble, and that's exactly what this team of No Escape is trying to do to them. Freezy as well as JimQuest from the back, and they've managed to catch out Godruz already. Shah now needs to back away because NC is doing the exact same thing. It's just team after team after team rushing into this exact same spot.
So that last member, FRU, is just going to hold out there and just hope that the third party that's moving in from the northern side is going to force the rest of RRV to change their position here. NC, though, they already spotted RV and they're just hounding them with the bullets, making sure they can try to take one out. FRU, in the meantime, gets himself caught out, so that's FRU taken out of the competition now at this juncture, while RV and ORV are fighting to try to hold their place while just under the fire of NC from the other side.
Godruz as well as Voidface. They need to back away here. It's quite the bad spot to hold on to. And NC is coming in for the finisher. Ace just needs to flank from the left. Asta moves on to the right. They want to say hasta la vista. One quick grenade can put them out of their misery. Il Juegos gets taken out of the equation. Godruz, good glue wall, but Ace drops him like he's hot, and the double barrel gets the easy finisher.
Yeah, 4v1, that was not a fair fight at all. NC would have been embarrassed if they actually got themselves knocked down in that battle there. But now they still have a lot of strength on this side of the circle here, as ORV only down to one member here. Voidface trying to heal himself inside the blue zone here to hope to be able to hold out, while the two members of RV already seeking a claim on the circle. But in the meantime, the northeastern side is fleeing a firefight. The UNTT is QR shooting at a distance now into ITX, who was attempting to approach onto Blacklist's position, and that looks like a three-party fight right now, and doesn't look like Blacklist is doing well, though, because of the shots coming the QR is preventing them from being able to make tactical maneuvers.
Yeah, tactical index though. With Zapnu still alive, Blacklist should be able to wrap up quick against him. But QR, how much of pressure can they play? Apparently not much, but Mr. D strikes right back with a beautiful headshot. That AWM in his hands is way too good. That's the kind of sniper we know, and Mr. D's right back in it.
Yeah, he's unfortunately going to have to duck off there, but at least that gives a bit of reprieve now to allow Blacklist to regroup and reposition themselves, which is exactly what they need as the rest of QR peels away from this battle now to take the northern side of the circle. Now they're going to have to watch out because RV is already set up inside there. They already have some snipers. Look at that, 3 snipers with scopes on their side here, so they're definitely going for that long range shot. Unfortunately, QR spots him out first. The AWM does nail its mark, and now it looks like it's already taken out phrase. RV now down 1 member. They're going to have to stick it out because unfortunately NC also jumps into the fray, and they have already taken the higher ground in this circle right now. AZ and Ryu now facing off against QR. They're going to be exchanging shots right now. Shank's taking a lot of damage at this point, while the Blacklist also moves in from the eastern side. They also want in on the action.
Yeah, they want in on the action, but the timing is just perfect. They just waited for everybody else to get into a gunfight first before hopping on into the next circle. And now Blacklist, this should be an easy fight for them. Juke gets juked out by the one and only NC, and NC finishing up that battle, moves on to straight ahead, and this could just be the best backs there, because if NC manages to get his noses stuck into this battle between Blacklist as well as QR, NC can just be the ones who walk away with the booyah.
Oh, it's a maze of glue walls right now as QR is desperate to try to keep Blacklist under this fight here, trying to keep that advantage. Oh! Quadra kill there and a shutdown to boot as QR blank nails down Newbie, and Blacklist taken out of the prime here. 4 places is going to be the best they will muster in Bermuda right now, and 3 teams still remain: NC, RV, and also QR.
Yeah, quick reactions. Earlier on, we did spot them in quite the decent position with the overall leaderboard, and now they want to back the booyah for themselves. There's no escape. RV gets taken out of the equation. Ace down on the ground. 8 kills so far. QR has got that advantage in terms of elevation. And now with this high ground advantage, they try to bait out the players of NC, who have a defensive compound as well, with all of the other glue walls already popped out earlier on. NC, on the other hand, just needs to wait. And this one grenade sneaks onto the back. Ace gets knocked down, taken out of the equation. 4v3, yet another grenade tossed on fourth. Nafis gets taken out. Ryu has the grenade launcher, but he gets taken out of the equation by Shanks' grenade launcher. And this is quick reactions, getting a quick booyah for themselves. What a dominating performance. 16 kills and the booyah. That's what they'll finish this game up with once they take Asta out of the equation. And they still haven't said Hasta la Vista just yet. The guy is still alive, sneaking away from them.
I mean, just trying to delay this really, but it's a 3v1, so he needs absolutely perfect in his play right now if you're trying to one out, but unfortunately 2 of them attacking at once. No way out for NC. QR picks it up in this round. A booyah is theirs to savor, and man, quick reactions certainly won them this round.
Absolutely. And Shanks, surprisingly, has hopped on over to a new team here, so I guess that's the main reason why we see a re-roster on the side of Bloody Head. I'm not so sure exactly what the dynamics are with the team and why this roster change did happen, but quick reactions very clearly know exactly how to make the right decisions out there, because this wasn't just a booyah on their side. It was quite a number of eliminations to their name as well. 16 eliminations. That's easily 28 points from this round.
Yeah, indeed. There's a lot of points there that they're already picked up here. And so
yeah,
that's certainly going to work out well, especially with Blacklist now looking like they're not quite performing at the best yet, but still putting themselves up in the top 4 somehow. So I think that should be enough to at least give them that bit of consistency they're looking for, and the lead, like I said, that they already have certainly means that they can manage that very, very well for the rest of the day. But I have to say though, quick reactions definitely did so well. This early battle, that worked out well for them. Blacklist, of course, this funny little play there, Newbie going up on the top of the wall. The one place they didn't quite expect, and that netted him the kill. In the meantime, QR, I mean, they really made full advantage of the high ground in that last fight, didn't they? I mean, I already was watching, I was actually watching like the weaponry they were using this fight, and the moment that QR started that fight, that last fight against NC, they switched to grenades because they knew that having the high ground means that it was going to be easy for them to drop that grenade straight into them even with the glue walls up, and that allowed them to get elimination so early on. So Asta, unfortunately, was the last man standing at that point, and in a 3v1, not much you can do, especially when they decide to attack all at once, as they did in that final turn on this round here, that allowed QR to basically take the Booyah. And let's see if that's going to be enough kill points here, because certainly to your point, that might just be enough to put them way up on the scoreboard.
So Shanks is not from Bloody Head. I got that totally mixed up. But I don't remember which squad is he from. Quick reactions. These guys just popped out of nowhere and are currently dominating with, and I just say that as dominating because there was quite a number of decent eliminations. 16 eliminations is more than average, right? Which once again gives them 28 points. The Blacklist International right behind them, and that has to be quite the punisher for quick reactions, because although they do perform phenomenally well, you still have the ones that are running the overall leaderboard in the #1 spot keeping up with you, which means overall you just managed to cut down the distance by 8 points.
Yeah, but only just about 8. We'll see whether or not the Blacklist's 20 will be enough, because I'm trying to do some maths in my head. Not gonna work out in time for this. But NC though still able
Very
to
good.
still nails down the 3rd place there with that 9 eliminations and 9 placement points.
Yeah,
that's enough, I think, to keep them in the running as far as the top 3 goes. Now let's quick reactions. 8,961. That's actually about 100 or about 300 less than what we saw from Blacklist in their very phenomenal round. And in spite of that, only 4 headshots though, so maybe they might want to work on the aim a little bit.
I really don't know where did this team appear from. I am curious as to where did quick reactions come from and how long are they going to stay around and dominate the scene. Quick reactions, because that was one game which they played to pretty much perfection. It's not like they sneaked around the battlefield undetected, got into the final circle, and got a lucky booyah for themselves, right? Yeah. They legitimately went compound to compound. Every single team that they came across could not take that fight up against them. But I have to emphasize, the majority of the Titan teams are not playing in this lobby. The only big dogs that you kind of have to worry about is Blacklist International and to a certain degree NC. But NC is not the most threatening team out there on the battlefield when you really compare some of these big teams out there, right? So, but once again, this is also the fresh new start for NC. We saw moments of greatness from NC only towards the tail end of the competition last time round. They didn't manage to make it into the grand finals. We did see the spirit though, and they're playing all of that aggression and frustration out that they built up from the previous competition in here right now.
Yeah, so again, I think for QR, I do remember Shanks in Season 1 as well. I don't quite remember which squad he was playing for, and looking at the player cams, I actually not say recognize the player themselves, but one of the players was showing his significant other in his phone. I remember that from Season 1 as well, so I don't think these guys are necessarily new in that sense. They've definitely been around a little bit, judging by performance as well.
Yeah.
But certainly now it's going to be a good chance for them to rise up to the occasion. There's still one more round for them to play though, and that's going to be in Kalahari. A little bit of a different battleground compared to Bermuda. Definitely going to be slowing down that pace of battle, especially during the early phase.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be a test of tactics, because tactics is everything when it comes to Kalahari.
It most definitely is, right? You really got to position yourself well, and a huge reason as to why Blacklist managed to really dominate a lot of kills on their own Kalahari map as well was because they took over Refinery. It did not end up in a booyah for themselves, but it doesn't matter. They still managed to bag quite a number of decent points on them. There's no interview this time round, but what we do have is a quick short break. When we come back, Victor, the final round of the day.
Indeed, so we'll be right back after these messages, so don't go away. The last round of the day here at Snapdragon Elite Gaming. We'll be right back after these messages.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Look at my shine with the glow. This is my time with it though. This is my time to be way at the top. Me and my guys gon' pay out the block. I don't look like boss. Time's right, and I know the sea is walking in the limelight. Promise you gon' wanna watch like a sci-fi. My guys are high risers, high time. Might drown if you come to my side. I pledge allegiance for lifetime. My squad connected like Wi-Fi. We grind and you see the highlights. This my life. It ain't a game now. Me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way. You wasn't invited. Say you come to play. I dare you to try it. You don't wanna try me. Don't step up to my team. Yeah, out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way. Game now, me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way, you wasn't invited. Say you come to play. I dare you to try it. You don't wanna try me. Don't step up to my team. Yeah, out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 for Asia Pacific, and all of this action is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, as well as Gachi Shop. My name's AJ. I'm the mustachio down here with the one and only Victor Gags. You'll be seeing a lot of this guy throughout the whole competition, all throughout the 4 days of action, along with all of these teams. And if there's one thing that I've loved so much so far in this first day of competition, Victor, is there's just no pure domination from any one team in terms of the booyahs. But if you look at the overall leaderboard, there's one team that seems to be whooping everybody else and picking up decent points for themselves.
Indeed. I mean, booyah-wise, it's still very much open season, but when it comes to kill points, though, I think Blacklist still has, I think, a dominant lead so far. We're still yet to see like the overall standings, which actually, as I mentioned it, is going to be coming up right about now. So let's see. Blacklist still holding a whole lead here, 71 points. I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of kills mentioned net in that last round, despite the fact they didn't get much in terms of placements. Only mentioned net a finish of 4th, but still, like I said, having that significant lead right now is really putting them heads and shoulders above everyone else. So I think, like, especially for teams like Expand, Bloody Heads, Farang, they're going to have to work it out in the next few days here in order to try to claw back that lead.
And if if Blacklist had bombed out earlier, Quick Reactions has a strong chance, or had a strong chance, of taking over the #1 spot by the time we get into the final game if they could perform back-to-back. But with Blacklist International picking up the 20 points in the previous round, they continue to put that distance between themselves as well as everybody else. We've been looking for consistency throughout the whole night. Blacklist has served it up hot. I don't know how they're doing it though, because this is one of those teams that I'll have to say not a lot of people were putting their money on during MCPS Major Season 4. They started off a little bit shaky, they found their momentum, and then they kind of dropped off once again. But at the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2, they are just whooping from that very first round that they hopped on in. As we head on into that final match, it's all about Blacklist International. Can they put out yet another game? Can they pick up 29 points to break the 100-point barrier in just one day of gameplay?
I mean, that was still remain to be seen, but certainly within the realm of possibility here for Blacklist
Yes.
for sure. So, yeah, it's really exciting times here. I mean, again, just jumping in very straight out of the bat, dominating all the really strong teams in Group A. Now that this is going to be an open season for them in this Group C and D with no powerhouse teams really to worry about too much. I mean, yes, granted, there's still like there's still NC, there's still Quick Reactions who won the last Booyah, but I think Blacklist, as long as they're still consistent in getting those kills, that still will maintain, you know, the points lead they will have. And yeah, it's going to be a long journey for them for sure, but already they put up quite a performance here in day one.
So now we know that it's guaranteed Blacklist International on the #1 spot. So now I shift my question to whether or not they can break that 100-point barrier. I just keep increasing the benchmark for them. I mean, if you perform well, that's what I have to do, right?
Yep.
But Quick Reactions, they've caught my attention now. I want to see what can they put out in this final game, because I didn't really expect a great 17 elimination round from them, plus a Booyah.
Yeah, Lin Shanks, he did compete as well in Season 1. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the members from Quick Reactions, even though QR is a new team in this competition, I think the members have been actually around for quite a while. So maybe the experience has also helped them a little bit, and reforming to this squad here is certainly working out well for them. So we'll have to see. There's still one more map, and it's going to be on Kalahari, a very different battleground compared to Bermuda.
Yes.
It's going to be more about how you play out your tactics a lot more compared to anything else, really. So it is going to be more of a test of the brains rather than the brawn.
And we did see Blacklist International hold on to the best spot in Kalahari, Refinery. That bird's eye view that Refinery gives you, they didn't allow any other team to step on into that compound earlier on, and there's a high probability that strategy is going to be executed once again. And if they do so, the probability of hitting 29 points really is there.
It's really there. But I want to point out the last Kalahari map didn't work out well for them because, one, even though they did hold on Refinery, the circle didn't end up on top of it. So they were forced to jump off of it into another fight to kind of a third party, and that's where they kind of lost out in the Kalahari map. So let's see whether or not the circle is going to favor them this time again. And no doubt they're going to be aiming for the Refinery once more. But First Blood already picked up here right off the bat. RV getting themselves in a bit of a struggle here. Hard to get as well, getting in a fight with ORV on the other side of the map here, as Iluegos is right now scrambling to try to save the situation here. McRory out in the open with Jim Quest, tries to get a shot, doesn't quite land too much there, so not a lot of damage done there. McRory able to get out of the way. Phrase trying to do some follow-up, then the follow-up actually works out to get the knockdown done. Now they just need to try to find the rest of IJ. Oh, and yes, they do find Mike Doe right around the corner. So that's going to be the end of IJ, knocked out first in the last round of the day.
Now you know why my sentiments were just that rough on them when I started off the day, man. I mean, this used to be one of my most favorite teams. And can you imagine my disappointment? But it is all right. K9 Meta, on the other hand, trying their very best to hang on for their dear lives. But Tactical Intex is quite down on putting an end to them. One final player backs away. And Pablo says goodbye as Sneaks could not sneak away.
And they all fall down. Meta, the next team to get knocked out here. The second team to be out of the final round. So 10 teams still remain in the running right now. You can see Blacklist already on the Bayfront, but Refinery right now actually being held a little bit by ORV. So this is going to be an interesting one because Noob is going to be moving up to the Refinery now. He will be able to spot ORV that's taking their spot at the moment. But ORV, conversely, are also fanning out to try to get some farm in the other areas just surrounding Refinery. So a bit of a gatekeep strategy that ORV is playing right now. So Blacklist going to have a bit of a challenge if they want to be able to take on the Refinery this time around.
Let's see exactly where does this circle push them into. 30 seconds for the barrier to come closing down. ORV teasing the players apart to get. There's just one guy downstairs that Aries needs to deal with, and Jebad Kids not doing a good job in keeping silent. Jasly, on the other hand, quite far away. They've split up, but I believe Hard to Get has got them all tagged up already, and they know exactly the position that they hold, so it doesn't seem like ORV is going to be able to get out of this.
Yeah, it's already marked him, basically. So at this point, they can just hold position here and wait for ORV just make a mistake and just capitalize on that. And Aries having this really high up position here, and with no support inbound for ORV, this is going to be hard for Jabat Kids to slip out without Aries noticing. In fact, he attempted actually to get out, but he actually spots Aries up on top of the rooftop.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to be very creative about how he wants to go about this. The risk, though, is that other members of H2D could definitely come in and spoil this party here for Jabat. Aries now jumps to the other rooftop here. Now they're going to force issue, as now he's going to be surrounded on both sides too, actually, with shots coming in from the windows. Jabat uses a shield, but that doesn't hold up for too long. They can get right through, takes him down completely, and they realize they haven't got elimination, so they know there's one member left to try to nail down. Just lead on the side. Oh, he actually got the revive just in time, so that's just clutch there. Jabat actually giving space there to allow ORV to bring in their support. So, in any case, right now in the council hall, H2G now just completely by themselves. ORV back in the fight now, having two members coming back in, along with Jabat Kids being revived as well. So that actually worked out well for ORV.
And that's the strategy of the split and revive. Once the revival platforms are active, you know, it's all up to you as to how you play your game. And that was a really smart one by ORV. They sacrificed one, but they don't really pay any price.
Yeah. Very well done. So at least they are back in the fight. Same can be said about IJ and Meta, and yeah, I think there's only two teams right now that's still lacking members. H2G will be able to bring revive back to their couple of the squad members, but now it's going to be a race for QR to make their way to Refinery. And with ORV already completely split up, I think Refinery might be just right for the taking here. And QR is already reacting very fast to this and just going ahead, making those moves here. Tactical Index, in the meantime, picks up a kill. Actually takes out a member there of TYR. So we'll see how that actually turns out there, because it seems like they're caught in a very awkward spot. Look at that, ITX just basically fighting their way up the hill here. At least the foundation does provide some good cover here that TYR can actually make use of, but this is looking to be a very tight situation here, as now Seiya is going to try to bounce out of the way here in order to try to open up an avenue of escape. But unfortunately, ITX moving in very, very rapidly. They're going to be able to catch God Rush right immediately. That should be a knockdown right there and then, as they try to find another member. Twist inside the container. They find him just as he pops out of the container. That's two members down. But ITX conversely also has a couple of members knocked down as well from the other side, because ORV, not quite resting on the laurels, are just going to fight back hard here on Foundation. Seiya already making some distance between himself and ITX, is able to take pot shots from the distance. So this is making things a little bit tough right now for ITX. But for TYR at the moment, this could be a little bit of a reprieve right now. As long as Seiya can keep them suppressed, there might be a chance here for the two members that's stuck right now in Foundation to get out.
ITX took a little bit too long, and ORV Tyrant has managed to bring their two players who got down earlier on right back up to their feet. So it's a 4v3. A buy station here for ITX, but that's not going to be able to buy them more time. As the players of ORV Tyrant find them, try to spray them down. No engagements have led to a knock just yet. Both teams still alive and kicking, and ORV Tyrants, they split up. And this buddy system is going to keep them alive, but Tactical Index is going to eat up two of their players here as long as they focus in some of their shots.
Yep, Blacklist right now approaching where the Refinery is. QR going to be stopping the tracks due to the danger zone appearing right in the middle. And speaking of the middle, NC is finding themselves having the circle land right on top of them. So this could be their round to try to figure out, are they going to try to take over the Refinery for themselves instead, or just hold position? In the meantime, Freedom Rumble spots out another squad. Juke attempting to try to take over the Mammoth right now. Daisuke is going to be picked off there by Shamis. So that's a little bit of revenge in the works right now, because without information there, Juke's now, they're going to be facing a bit of a flank as well, because Coco is already making his way up the hill right now. Upno is trying his very best to hold things off, but now realizes that his position might be a bit compromised right now, with FRU just pushing them on. And looks like Juke is just going to abandon Doxy here and just go ahead and try to set themselves up in the middle of the circle.
Freedom Rumble, high ground advantage. Juke can't juke themselves out of this one. Freedom Rumble should have the advantage against them to take this easy win. But Coco's all alone. The rest of his team members have already abandoned him, but thankfully Juke backs away.
Oh boy.
And Coco's not in trouble. In fact, he's the one going in for the chase. Apnoy all tagged up, and he focuses on Lei just a little bit. Then that AC-80 can put Coco down onto the ground. Time turner pulled out by Lei. He survives. Apnoy finds the route to survival as well. So good backup by Lei to help Apnoy get away.
Yeah, the other team, needs to kind of step up right now. They already have Lei dead to rights as Lei attempts to try to keep Apnoy alive using the healing gun, and that should be able to give a bit of reprieve, but I think they need to split right now because Lei is in a very, very exposed spot here. At least he should be able to keep things distracted while his teammate goes ahead and try to see if he can get a revive. In the meantime, NC getting some kills done on the Blacklist, and this looks like a really tight fight right now. Blacklist is desperate to try to hold their own. They already lost Mira. Still got 3 members here. They already knocked down 2 members as NC, but NC takes on Yubi. He jumps straight into the fire here, trying to get the sword and trying to slash there onto one of the members. Mr. D still manages to keep things alive right now. Puts up the glue wall. Now tries to go to revive, but the shotgun from Ace EZ actually takes out one of his members before he can get a revive. Unfortunately, that completely wipes out Blacklist. 10th place is the best he can do right now. Oh, what an upset.
Oh, what a play, NC. We were expecting them to rise up to the top, but to take down the ones who are leading the leaderboard, that's just crazy, man. NC really making a name for themselves, but here is an opportunity for quick reactions to catch up with the players of Blacklist International. NC just did them the biggest favor of the year.
Oh, look at how crazy the maze of blue walls is. Insane, trying his very best to find an angle here. Does take out ORV. Now tries to find Jazly GG. Puts up the glue wall just in time to kill it alive, but unfortunately he's taking a lot of fire from different sides here. Now he's going to be desperate to try to bring some of his teammates back up to the full, but unfortunately Batman gets taken out before he can get a revive up. Now he managed to get Ares up just in time. Now Ares comes around, gets an elimination just in time, and ORV gets knocked out. Oh, that was so close. Insane. Must be thanking the gods right now that Ares came to rescue him.
And that's what teamwork's all about. And now this duo, they should be able to bring their team members right back in here. Buy points are there. As long as they've got those coins, they can buy their team members right back and buy themselves an extra bit of survival play later on down towards that final circle. And the circle just hasn't started moving just yet. They've got 40 seconds to run down here, which is a lot of time in the world of Free Fire, Victor.
Oh, speaking of Free Fire, a bit of crossfire right now. The Juices found themselves in between because Freedom United, Freedom Rumble on the bottom, ITX on the top, and this is looking like a very awkward situation because it's right on the edge of the play zone here. Jukes Appleway trying to hold his own in the tower while fire is just happening right below him. Yanel already made his way up to the front here, but his main focus is going to be FRU. The thing is, he takes out Apnoy just in time, so he takes over position on the high ground here, trying to spot where the rest of Freedom Rumble is in order to try to take on the attack. Pablo now trying to spot Coco, tries to make some shots. Yanel as well, trying his very best to keep them suppressed and at a distance right now. But Danny's taking a lot of shots there with Yanel taking, and a knockdown to Coco there. This could be crucial because now it's going to give the man advantage to ITX.
That Danny from the back, he was about to save Coco, and as a tactical index put the final bullet in the coffin for Coco, Danny backed away. Lucky he didn't get spotted out. The blue zone's going to force both of them towards the next circle. Question is, who lets up first? 2 players going to be tagged up by it, and the rest of them can go ham against each other. Quite a distance between them, which means the snipers as well as the assault rifles will be the best ones. And Shami, as I talk about it, Groza gets the knock from afar.
Yeah, but the thing about the circle is that ITX is literally on the edge there, so even the next one shrinks. It's mostly FRU that's actually left out on the open there without much cover. So this is actually looking like a worse proposition as far as the fight is concerned for FRU. Right now they're trying to just hold their own, trying to get things healed up, while Danny tries to get some shot. Doesn't quite land it though. So FRU still having 3 members alive and still at full strength. In the meantime though, wonder how the other team's doing here because ITX at the moment, that circle just working out for them because it lands right on top of them in the next round.
But Danny gets stacked up, and thankfully Jump 9 jumps right behind him, pulling away the crosshair of Pablo. And I don't know if that was intentional, but that saved Danny's life in that very one moment. Very smart play if it was intentional. Danny doesn't seem to have a medkit on him, which is going to be quite the troublesome situation to get caught in before you get to the final circle, Victor.
Yeah, and speaking of troublesome, QR and RV locked in battle here. It's going to be face-to-face in this building, but RV does have control while QR is on the outside. Bomb going to be sent out to Shanks. Is that going to actually nail him down? Not quite. He gets out of the way, but unfortunately fades out on the outside, gets knocked down. So this is actually going to be a mad scramble now for QR to try to end this fight here between themselves and RV. And RV finding themselves completely locked inside the house. QR just spraying and praying that we're going to get knocked down. Unfortunately, it's Hyper who gets knocked down instead. Glue Wall is going to be able to keep Team Quest alive for now, but now the Glue Wall just opens up the floodgates now, and QR finding the knockdowns happening one after another. Still, RV holds steady and still has 3 members up. Blank is the last man standing. He's going to try to hold his own, but now that RV has control over the rest of his members, all it takes is one shot, one kill there, and this could end QR in the tracks. Oh my goodness.
QR was so close to catching up with the players of Blacklist. Blank is the final hope for the team. Can he survive? AWM in hand, one of the best snipers out there. But outside of the circle, he's getting tagged up bad. Very little HP left on him. Medkit on for the survival. So far away from this blue zone. ORB to gatekeep him as well. Goodbye! Quick reactions out at the 6th spot.
Jeez, that was literally milliseconds of time there that could have brought him back in, but man, that was so unfortunate. QR getting caught on the outside. Now another fight happening here. H2G taking down one member of FRU here. Jump 9 trying to get in to go to get a revive, but now he's the one who needs the revive now. Danny's didn't quite get in time because Forbits is on point with those shots. Now Danny's is dead to rights, stuck behind the concrete barrier. I don't think it's going to be long for this world because the circle is literally right in, his literal back is right against the end of the circle there, so there's nowhere for him to maneuver. It's so wide open here. H2G just going to be able to hold him on, and finding one more shot for 4-bits. An anti-material rifle pierces through the concrete and takes him out.
This just means 6 games, 6 different teams who pick up the booyah. Hard to get, looks really strong to pick this next one up, but Voidface takes the face and the mask off of Batman, and it looks like that immediately nerfs them. Twist taken out of the equation already. Batman doesn't get taken out of the equation just yet, as that knock does not convert into a kill. The players get picked right back up. Hard to get. It's against 3 players, but Seiya has got the grenade launcher. Switches over to the Max 7. Seiya, can you get the shot? Doesn't pop just yet. Insane is still alive. Double barrel chasing Seiya down. He wastes all of his grenades, and ORV gets taken out. What a play by Hard to Get as they secure a massive booyah.
Hard to Get gets the booyah in the final round, and boy oh boy, 4-bits, Batman, Daisy, Insane, Ares, these guys certainly powerhouses in their own right. It was looking kind of hard here for H2G in these early rounds, but finally on the final round of the day, they managed to nail it down, and look at that. They're certainly going to be happy with this very result.
They are delighted. They are super ecstatic about their victory. Hard to Get has been a team that, you know, has been struggling for quite a while, and they have got the quality, but they just haven't managed to find that synchronicity between themselves to continuously chug out this sort of performance. You see them kind of like hitting those high notes very few times, but it's not as consistent as what we expect out of them. In the past, where it was the snipers meta, that was when Batman and the whole of Hard to Get team was fully alive in the world of Free Fire. You know, ever since that meta got changed over to the SMGs, the assault rifles, now the shotguns, the team just seems quite displaced. So this is a phenomenal victory for them.
Here's the thing, it's like now that things are more geared towards close quarters combat, and inevitably something's got to give, right? So now it's going to be the sharpshooters, the accurate shooters that loses out in this current meta. But thankfully though, Hard to Get actually adapted pretty well in this specific matchup here, because the thing is that most of the attacks, most of the kills I think were more stacked on the other teams. They only really came into form in the last few circles there. I mean, Freedom Rumble, you know, really got themselves caught out in a bad way here, and 4 bits very, very crucial in allowing them to nail down those kills. And Voidface as well had an anti-material rifle, but look at that. He was probably the first one to get knocked down, so that prevented Seiya and Godrose from having the support of that sniper rifle, and that was crucial because that allowed H2T to basically storm them, and I don't think they really had anything good as far as close quarters combat was concerned. Seiya does have the max 7, but Insane was a little bit faster on that trigger finger, so that allowed H2T to just win out those battles.
It was really unfortunate because Voidface, he started off that whole fight very well because the first guy that he knocked down was Batman, and Batman's the guy that engages those long distance fights, right? So it was a good player to knock down, but the finisher just wasn't there. He exposes himself, he himself gets taken down, and now the long-range capability of the team is taken out of the equation already. Way too easy for Hard to Get. ORE Tyrants got close, but nowhere close to the players of Hard to Get. And Hard to Get finishes this off in 28. I just am shocked that Quick Reactions didn't take full advantage of the early elimination of Blacklist.
Yeah, I mean, again, Blacklist only managed to net 3 points total in this round, but also conversely, I'm very surprised that NC didn't really make much of a splash in this round as well. Only managed 8 points in total. Yeah. So very disappointing for some of these teams here, but for Hard to Get, I mean, finally they're getting themselves up there somewhat, a little bit late into the party, but nevertheless 28 points is a very, very healthy amount of points to have on the standings at this point.
And Ilusuego's down at the bottom. Unfortunately, no points alongside K9 Meta. And Blacklist International, I guess they already did phenomenally well very early on in the competition of the day, and they just didn't need to hustle, I guess, towards the later end of the day. Hard to Get will take that with a huge smile on their face. But total survival time, 15 minutes, 56 seconds. This was a very quick game.
Yeah, indeed it was. I mean, it might be a testament to how quickly things unfolded, especially in those final moments, final circles. But it also, I don't know. I mean, again, it's very hard to compare different matches when they're very different in terms of like what was the conditions required for them to win.
And the groups as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So again, we'll have to see as the week goes on how these performances really turn out, because again, we're looking for that consistency. We're looking for teams that are able to put in good performances day after day. So while we are seeing some teams dominate day number 1, they may not be the same teams dominating day 2, because things can very much change, especially with teams had the time to kind of recuperate, to re-examine what exactly went down during the specific matches, and actually try to optimize and improve upon whatever weaknesses they identified in day number 1.
I resonate with that. I also resonate with another point whereby as the days go on, teams are going to start finding their rhythm. And teams like AV Radicals, Expand, they might have bombed out to a certain degree today, but as they find their rhythm, there's a reason why they are representing their individual nations at the Free Fire World Series later on in November, right? But Blacklist International, they'll wrap up day number 1, sitting down at the number 1 spot, 74 points, although they don't have the best of rounds towards the very end. But Quick Reactions quickly catches up with them in that 2nd spot, albeit quite a distance between the two.
Yeah, and I think more importantly, they're also putting themselves points ahead of teams like Expand and Bloody Hits, who only are tied at 44 points. So that actually is significant. That means that, you know, performance-wise, Quick Reactions actually had a much better game compared to Expand and Bloody Hits in these two back-to-back rounds. So I mean, that's very much a good thing for them, even though they aren't able to overtake Blacklist in terms of those kills, or but still, that's certainly putting a very good performance here in their match today.
And if you look lower down the leaderboard, you can see Bloody Heads in the 6th spot. Overall 44 points. Just one good solid round can shoot them up into the 2nd spot. So apart from Blacklist, pretty much everywhere else on the leaderboard, one good game can shoot you up quite a number of positions. AV Radicals isn't in a tough spot. They just need one solid match and one decent game to get right back into the frame of chasing for the number 1 spot, right? So overall, the teams on the left-hand side of the leaderboard are all right, but on the right-hand side of the leaderboard, you might be worried, but I'll say don't worry, because we did have 2 groups play 4 games and 2 groups play only 2 games for themselves. And a majority of the teams that played 2 games are on the right-hand side of the leaderboard. They don't have a lot of points to their side, but that's exactly what day 2, 3, and 4 is for.
Yeah, exactly. And I would also want to point out that, while the gap to Blacklist is quite far, if you look at the midfield, actually, it's what, 31 points, 30 points, 27 points, 26 points. Actually, it's quite close.
Yes.
So I think that there's still plenty to play for, even if you're not, fighting for that top spot. And remember, because you still get prize money even if you finish 10th place. So it's still a lot. There's still money on the line for these guys here. So given that how competitive things are in that midfield here, I think that's going to shape up. It's definitely going to be shaken up a lot as the days progress.
And of course, at the end of the day, you are looking for the top 12, because the top 12 goes on to the regional finals. So as long as by the end of the 4 days, you are in the top half of the 24 teams, you're all solid. But we have a interview segment coming up. I'm not so sure if or not it's going to be us or the Bahasa casters getting that one done, but I guess we'll find out in a few seconds. Oh, we cancelled the interview. Okay. I guess that's about it. So we don't have an interview. A little unfortunate, but it's all right. It's all right. Hopefully we get to catch the players tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll definitely be able to catch them again tomorrow, as you guys do as well at home. We didn't forget that you guys have been joining us on this journey all day long here, and hopefully you'll be able to join us even more, because there's still more Free Fire action to go on for the rest of the week. We'll be back again tomorrow to see more matches here between these 4 groups, and those 4 groups will still play on tomorrow, day after, and day after. So yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned for that.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you enjoyed the broadcast throughout the whole day, it's all possible because of Snapdragon Elite Gaming, as well as Monster Energy and Kachi Shop. Snapdragon Elite Gaming, when winning matters, you want to pick it up. And Monster Energy, man, I mean, when it truly matters for yourself, you want to unleash the beast within you.
Yes, indeed. And finally, if you are running low on your credits inside your favorite mobile games or even PC games as well, why don't you go and check out Kachi Shop, because they do offer plenty of deals and discounts, importantly, that will allow you to get the most value out of your top-ups there. So check it out, www.kachishop.com/my.
Let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule so you know roughly what you can anticipate. Today was a day of Bermuda and Kalahari. Tomorrow will be a day of Bermuda and Kalahari as well.
Yeah, but a bit of a mix-up as well, because we're going to start off with teams Group A and D this time around, not A and B. So it's going to be quite the mix-up around as we finally get to see how the D group actually fares against the A group in the first couple of matches tomorrow. Then A versus C is going to be the next one to come up, and B versus D right after that. So yeah, again, we're just giving these different groups opportunities to face off against each other here, so that by the time we get to the last day here, we'll have a very clear image of who really is the top team in the Snapdragon Pro Series.
Absolutely. So tomorrow, by the end of the day, the overall leaderboard will be a little bit more fair in terms of the distribution of points. And like you said, we get to see exactly who are truly dominating the competition, as they would have all played the exact same number of matches in the exact same 2 maps. We also get to see exactly who dominates Bermuda and Kalahari tomorrow.
Exactly. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an incredible journey so far, the first of many days here in Free Fire for the Snapdragon Pro Series. I'd like to thank especially all of you who have been joining us from the start to the finish of this stream. Thank you so much for tagging along for this journey. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is AJ Mustachio. We'll be back again tomorrow, so hopefully you guys see you then. And until then, good night and good luck.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Won't stop going till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion. We put in this time. Look, you won't stop.